Compton crazy mother named Ice Cube. From the gang called Fellers with Attitudes. When I'm called off, I got a soda. Squeeze the trigger and bodies are hauled off. You too, boy, if you're with me. The police are gonna have to come and get me off your ass. That's how I'm going out. For the pulp mothers, they're going out.
Look at this. Look who got on tonight. The lovely Adam, the lovely Brad. Oh, I'm dead excited to see what you've got and so forth. Hello, Shabby Geekers. Welcome to the season finale. This is it. You two are the last two people.
Are we going to do it? Wow.
Season two's finished. Yeah, this is it. So we're going to have to cry or something, you know, make it out like you're really sad at the end. And
I will.
Shabby, I can't believe it. But we'll be back for season 3. How are you both? All right?
Doing great.
If I was any better, Shabby, I'd be twins.
I tell you what, though, I'm having I don't know whether you both, I mean, look behind you both. You both got rooms like I have. Well, I thought, you know what, I'll do my room up differently. This, you know, I'll add more shelves. And I thought, honestly, you forget, don't you, how much stuff you have? Because when you start, you're in the right mood to start, aren't you? And about 20 minutes in, you're like, what the France? Why am I bothering doing this? Has that happened to you too?
So I just recently built this room.
Right.
I changed jobs last year in March. And so I used to keep my collection at my office because it's always a conversation starter. And then when I went to my new job, there's actually 3 locations. So I'm kind of moving around. And I talked to my wife and it's like, let's take we had a sun porch out front. I said, let's just take that and we'll convert it into a home office. And then I said, I'll set up my stuff in here.
Yeah.
And, you know, you set up your shelvings and you build the room and it's all great. And you're like, all right. It took me as long to put my toys up as it did for us to build the room.
Yeah, it's a nightmare, isn't it? It's a nightmare. And then something drops and you're like, oh no, do you know what I mean? And then you have that double effect. Oh, the worst thing is when you get everything nice, Brad, and you get it all set up and so forth, and then you move something on another shelf, but you've banged that one.
Yeah.
What's the point? Well, you two have got nice. You very, I mean, look at you, if I make you both bigger set, let's just see, I'll just do you. Look at how classy that looks behind you. All nice and done. Look at that. And our Brad, look at our Brads. Look at this. Very posh. Very posh. Awesome. Should we see who's come and seen? He said hello. Hello, G4. So G4 says hello. Georgie says, hey up, you top lads. Counting down the days, Brad. Can't wait to see you. Oh, so you'll be going to Florida in November, are you?
Yeah, well, now I live down here in Florida. I'm just 45 minutes from Orlando. So next Tuesday, we're all getting together and meeting up. And I'm sure as long as they're down here, I'll get to see them again. It's a lot going on, but I've been looking forward to this for a very long time. So
Stu and Georgie are lovely people, aren't they? Absolutely lovely. So you'll have a great time with them. Palps is here. Oh, Des is here. Oh, someone you might know. Brad's right here. Why is this?
Buddy. The Bad Batch.
Who is this Brad fella? Brilliant. Hi, Kieran. Wow, everybody's here. Look, KB, Oppie's here. Hi, Shabby, Adam, Brad. Wow, up to 30 already. Hit that like button, you Muppets. I appreciate that, Kieran. How big are your muscles? Are they big?
Geek Strong is a legit legend. That guy is just such a beauty.
He just showed something. I just watched one of his shorts. And not that I've been looking at his shorts. I'm just saying I saw one of his shorts on YouTube, you know, and he showed that Necker, you know, them Necker lads, and they're making those Halloween, those Ben Cooper ones, but just don't want a Pee-wee. And I was like, oh, Geek Strong, stop putting stuff like this stuff. I'm going to get divorced. My wife's going to throw me out. I know she's keep spending all this money.
The Ben Cooper figures are like maybe the biggest like collector. Like that is like we know we own you. We're gonna make a figure of a child with a bad costume on of something you love.
Yeah,
we're gonna buy it, and we're like, yeah, we are gonna buy it, aren't we?
What does Shabby want? Oh, I don't know. We'll make one of these. Brilliant. Hi, Biker. We'll be back. Everyone's turned up. Jonathan's here. Hi, Jonathan. Good old Geek Strong saying hello. It was on Bosk, so I've got Bosk sat on today. We're all advertising for Bosk this week. Yeah. Keith Knight. Hi, Keith. Nice to see you, pal. Hi, Jason. Nice to see you. GoFigures here. Hi, Adam. Mr. B. Wow. Wizzy's here, blooming heck. I was sigh. Don't like and hi, everybody. Sorry not been around. It's all right, Baz. It's nice to see you, buddy. And we all know personal life comes in first. So, yeah, it's good to see you, pal. G4 saying hello. TJC's here. Mr. B. I don't see any Voltron behind Brad, says G-Force.
He's overlooking me right now.
Nice.
But the other one just got finished getting grading, so it won't be here till this weekend.
Is that important to you, grading?
Do what now?
Important to you, grade? I don't think I've ever
graded. So I wanted to protect it. I told them not to grade it. I told them to archive it.
Oh,
and I got my thing and they graded it, which I guess it cost the same. So nothing. I mean, I think the Voltron got an 85. I think the figures got an 80. So I'm fine with that.
Can I ask you a question? What's the difference between archive and grading?
Well, I think he left.
Oh, his camera's off. Do you know the difference between archive and grading?
I think archiving is just it's kind of like a freeze frame as it is, and they put it in the plexi and the Lycan, and so it's like it's going to be in that display forever. So it's archived. Right. And I think grading is just they take the time to tell you how good it is.
I never knew that. So you could send it off. You could either archived or graded. So it's just wow. I never knew. Is it a massive difference in the price, then, Brad, or is it?
I don't. I don't do it a lot, so I really don't know.
Right, I never knew that.
But the bad thing is, it can be a piece that you really, really love, and you send it off to get graded, and it comes back not being what you expect it to be. Right. And then it sort of takes away from the splendor of the product because they just gave it a bad rap with the number, and I mean it's just a number. It's an opinion.
I think that's why I don't do it. I think that would piss me off. Do you know what I mean? Oh, I know this is going to be an 80. Comes back as a 60. What the France?
Yeah, your Pee Wee Playhouse was a 20.
You know what I mean? I mean, gutted.
I think it'd be funny to get really into grading.
Yeah,
figures that we just always see in bins, like Last Action Hero, like just like the Dredge, but like get them all graded and be like very proud of your like subpar figures.
Connor Fuller says they say absence makes the heart grow fonder, yet Shabby continues to give us quality content and entertainment each week. Wow, what a nice thing to say. I think a big thank you is wow. Touch me. I appreciate that. Thank you, pal. Geek Strong says thank you. No, thank you, buddy. John McGuire's here. Hi, John. Nice to see you, pal. I've been looking for that Ben Cooper Pee Wee all summer. Right, so it's been out for a while then. Oh, I just saw the video on there.
First Pee Wee?
That I'll let you. Does Shabby owe you some money or something? Well, let's just get down a bit more. Gary Moore's here. Look at this. Shabby must have had those infamous incriminating photos of Connor. I do sell them if you want one. Bet Matt not watching as Bradley's collection is amazing. Yeah, I bet it
thank you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mrs. T's here. Hi, Mrs. T. Nice to see you, pal. Archiving is just putting on in a sealed case. Grading is just a con. Right.
It's just a con.
What do you think? What do you think to Kieran's comment then? Is it just a con? I don't know, really. Is it a con or not? Because I'll ask you to, because, I've never done it. I've never, I don't know, really.
So the only experience I have with grading was I have a very good friend. And we always get ourselves into like crazy adventures. But he said he had a safe in his basement that used to be his like dad's when he was a child. And he says he hasn't gone in it for, 35 years.
Right.
And he was like, but I think there's a Michael Jordan rookie card in there. I'm pretty sure I pulled a Michael Jordan rookie card out of a pack, and I'm pretty sure it's in the safe. And I was like excited, as I like to tinker. I was like, let's go and crack the safe. It'll be great. And he was like, but I want to protect what's in there. I was like, no, it'll be fine. Trust me, we'll get into there. And so I went over there with some tools one day, and he was like, no. We're going to call someone to do this professionally. So he paid to have the safe cracked. Lo and behold, he pulled out what looked like a mint condition Michael Jordan rookie card.
Oh, wow.
So we went to the card shop, a local card shop, and the guy said, yeah, these range anywhere from like, $1,000 to $100,000, like depending on the small, but he says, I can't price it out unless it's graded because I don't have the know-how. So it was like a couple $100 to get it graded. And when he graded it, he's able to then because it was graded, make an offer. And it was a good offer. He did all right. But yeah, without it being graded at that level, you couldn't tell because this is something that I didn't know either with cards. He said it came right out of the package, went right into the safe. So it was in mint condition, but that only guarantees you a 6 out of 10 because there's factory errors.
Right.
So he says, yeah, like you can pull it out and it's mint, but that doesn't mean it's a 10. It means it's mint condition. So they had to go. And so there was a couple like ink errors in the factory. So I think his was like an 8, I think is what it ended up being. But again, he couldn't get any offers for it until it was graded. So I think on like the higher end, specific things like that, like a comic book or a baseball card or something like that, I think it's hard to give a price unless it's graded. With the stuff that we collect, we all have our own ranking systems, right? We all know what a Luke looks like, and it's like, okay, this one's got a little yellow, and it's not, and so we can kind of do that ourselves. But I think with like the higher end, rarer stuff, and usually printed stuff, so like on card, like box art, that kind of stuff, I think getting it graded helps you be able to justify the price you're asking for it.
Wow. Hey, Chip. Hello, Mrs. T, Mr. B, Kieran, and all the other fine folks in here. TGC says, hopefully you'll have a chance to get your 0 GoBot mailed to you by the end of the week, Adam.
That'd be great. We're going to be talking, maybe talking GoBots today, JC, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, Adam, you free next Wednesday night? I need to get something out of the post office. There you are. There's another one. I feel like Adam's secretary. Anybody else? Just go in. Bring a ski mask. It may get cold. Let me ask you a question. So you both sent me an honorable mention and you both got your top 5s or whatever. How easy was it and how did you come up with your top 5? So I'll start with you, Brad.
I got to, at first I thought I was just going to limit this to hot toys.
Yeah.
And after watching your episodes, I was like, I don't have to do that. So
no, anything you want. Yeah.
You'll see my number 1 has been a labor of love.
Right.
But the others, they just have a little bit more, I don't know. It's just personally what suits me, I guess.
So you went down because like I said, through the 2 seasons we've done top 5s, people have either done it sentimental, gifts, more expensive, stuff they've made, stuff they've done, stuff that they've been given, that kind of, but you went down the sentimental route, which I think the majority of people actually do on this stream.
Yeah, because you could do value or or whatever. I mean, what people gift me has an even more special place.
Yeah.
But you're wanting to know what my top 5 are, so this is what I've done. So
awesome, man. Is that the same for you, Adam? How did you come up with it?
It was incredibly difficult. So I cheated it a little bit. I gave you 2 top 5 lists.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Because my channel, I'm always designing and making stuff. So I gave you top 5 pieces of my collection and top 5 things I designed.
Yeah.
And so the stuff I designed was easy. I was like, here's the ones I had the most fun doing, or the most challenging, or the most rewarding. So those ones were pretty cut and paste. But the top 5 of my collection, I thought it was going to be easy. And I was like, okay, here's like, but then you start looking around, you start looking around your room and you're like, okay, there's a figure that's, an average figure, but the memory attached to it increases that value so much. Right. And you're like, okay. And then, so you end up with, 30 and then a short list of 15.
Yeah.
You heard up to 10, and you're like, well, now I feel bad about the ones I'm leaving behind. So it was a mind bend to get. So I had to give myself some rules. And so I allowed myself 1 sentimental pick, 1 purely nostalgic pick, 1 overall favorite toy pick, and then a couple that were just kind of like these are kind of blurred areas of them both. But I said if I go all sentimental, then I'm never going to actually show my favorite toy. And if I go, so the only thing I didn't do is I didn't ever consider what prices of things were.
Right. Yeah, and I never came up with the prices either, because I think, to me, it's like I say, don't get me wrong, it's always nice to appreciate the fact that your collections have monetary value, but to me that's not the first and foremost of it.
No.
And I think it's funny the way you both come across that. That's really interesting. Gary Moore says he's now guessed Brad's number one. Look at that.
You should, sir. If you don't know it, I don't know what we've done this past year.
I tell you what, that would be perfect if you picked a signed photograph of Gary. There it is. I think that's my number one too. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's funny when we look at when we take into account the price of things.
Yeah,
we actually get further away from toys that we like. So if you look at Star Wars, nobody here wanted to play with a yak face as a kid. Like, no, we didn't want that. Like, that wasn't a good toy. It was a bad Star Wars figure.
It was yak face.
yak face,
right?
Yeah.
And now it's the most expensive one, and we're like, oh, we need to get that Grail. I'm like, yeah, but it's only a Grail because it's dumb. It's dumb, and no one bought it, so it's rare. So it's like this weird, flip over, or Luke Skywalker is the best figure, but he's so common, he's not worth any money.
It's funny though, the things that are expensive and are not. It's like, I was talking to the lads on CSR about this a couple of weeks back, and I was saying how Mad Balls now and stuff like that I had, don't get me wrong, but there were throwaway toys, if you will. You had him and your aunt, your uncle, but how expensive all that's gone now, and the love and the passion for that too. And I'm like, wow, that's unbelievable. Has anything struck you too about the prices? I mean, I'll talk to you about Joe Fest, Brad, because you bought that Voltron stuff, and it wasn't cheap, that stuff, was it?
No, it wasn't. No. It was, gosh, I don't even remember how much I paid, but I know after I got it after I sent it off to get graded and everything, I think it come out to like $800 for the 5 lines, a complete Voltron, a complete 5 figures, and then whatever it costs to put them in acrylic. So
does that not make you both hesitate though? That, because it would me, if there was something I wanted really bad, but then he gave me a price like $800, I'd be like, what the France, man, my wife is gonna batter me.
Yeah, it was Voltron to me. Star Wars has a super special spot in my heart as a kid, but I'm not gonna lie, Voltron as a kid, I remember 5th and 6th grade, I guess, when it was really big for me. The little keys that you would get with your figures, that would determine who you was on the playground that day. And I always had my key with me, so I had to be the black line. So it was sometimes nostalgia hits you before the brain does, and before you know it, you've already pulled the trigger, and it's like, oh, what did I just do?
to me, go on, Adam.
I was gonna say, to be the bookend to that is that I think I'm in a bit of a lucky spot. So to look at my Panache Place Voltron, which is exactly the toy you're talking about in the 5 figures, I didn't look for a complete one. I didn't look for the best one. I looked for the worst one I could find so I could make it into a video fixing it up. So I got one that had no canopies, both wings were broken, it was, joints were loose, and then I was able to make it in a video. So I got a content piece out of it, but also now I have it on my shelf, and to me it looks as good as any other Voltron, but I paid $30 for it.
Oh, right? Wow.
Cheaper than yours, Brad. Bit cheaper than yours. Look at that on the rest. Brad purchased Joe. Brad purchased Joe.
Thanks, Adam. Thanks.
Oh, brilliant.
But again, like there's pieces of my collection that will never be, 100% complete. And some people will say that's actually, you've ruined it because you've added to it or taken away from it. But I'm like, it's my toys. I'll do what I want with them.
I completely agree with that. Completely agree with it.
But like, so my canopies, for example, on my Voltron aren't translucent. They're the same color as the lion. Because I wanted to make them look a little more cartoon accurate.
Right.
So it looks complete, but it looks a little bit different. And so it's a fun little thing. So, but I get it. And you'll see, like, my number one toy today is a complete, like, nothing printed or manufactured else, like no repro stuff. So there are parts of my collection that I have that are like really original, but I look for deals on those, and I get so much more enjoyment out of like restoring something, right?
I do it for the prices though, because I've done the vintage mode too, and I'm about 2/3 in now, and I've done really well on it. Now that is something to me though that I want no repos for. I want all big, and I think it's because it's relatively cheap to do that.
Yes.
You know, Star Wars, I have no issue with it. You know, if I pop up lightsaber, I've got the last 17 R2, but without, so I bought the repo lightsaber. I ain't paying 100 quid for it. Do you know what I mean? So it's funny that, and I think it comes down to prices, but Masters of the Universe vintage is relatively cheap enough to get it all like that.
Yeah.
So have you two ever done that yourselves where you've seen something, but it has been just too expensive where you've just thought, I just can't do that?
Yep. So, sorry, go ahead, Brad.
No, I was just looking. You go ahead.
So for me, the one that comes out in my mind is I'm 99% done my vintage Thundercats line.
Right. Nice.
But some of the crazy berserkers that spin around and like Captain Shiver, they're so expensive. And I actually don't like the toys. Like I feel like they look out of place in a Thundercats line.
Right.
But if I saw them cheap enough, I'd buy them.
Yeah.
But when you look at Captain Shiver, for example, you look at him and you're like, he's not $150 figure to me. Like he's not.
Right. Yeah. So you hold back a bit. Right.
So I hold back. Like when I can get a Lion-O for 20, this doesn't jive. Now,
yeah.
I hold nothing against my friend, but two Joe Fests ago, I brought my friend Tverko up and we had a blast. And it was his first experience. So I was trying to explain to him what goes on. I'm like, yeah, there's Joe Fest proper, but then there's like the market upstairs, right? And it's just a madhouse, and and so at the market, he came and found me. He's like, I found a box of Thundercats. All the berserkers are there, and it's $60. And I was like, and we went there and it was gone. And I was like, you should have just bought it. He's like, I didn't know. Like, you got to grab things when they're there. So I had a chance to get them all, but it's all right. The hunt lives on.
The hunt lives on. Is that so? What about you, man? What have you've put back and thought, I just can't do it. I just can't.
They're like the helmets. There's some great helmets out there. Actually, that Mando, when you see right there, I paid $450 for it, and it's more metal, but with padding inside of it. But when you look at the Hasbro Black Series one, it's like, did I really have to spend that much money on something for that? You know, it's.
I have to watch myself too, because I don't. Have you ever done that where you just don't appreciate what you have? Do you know what I mean? It's like sometimes it's like you have to stop yourself because you're going to buy it for all that money, put it on your shelf, and then you're immediately on to the next thing. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes you're like, oh no, what have I spent that for? So Zazel's here. Look at this. Zazel's come in. Good morning. Hello. Esther Gleesh is here.
My brother.
Hello, my friend. So let's have a look. Yeah, everyone's saying hello to Zazel. Let's have a look. Repo original for me comes down to price. Exactly right. I agree with that. Don't you both? I do agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
G-Force, I mean, Shabby must have sculled away some of his head. The answer is no, Brad. Nothing is too expensive.
No, it's not. Not with you around, Gary.
Yeah. I can imagine. If there's a will, there's a way, right, Gary? Absolutely brilliant. Geek Strong says, I have plenty of items in my collection where I've said I can't buy this. Then I click buy it now. Yeah, you have that impulse, don't you? It's just ridiculous. So the great thing about the Black Series helmets is that they are affordable and they even have details on the inside. I've got a couple of them. Did you ever pick any of them up, the Black Series helmets?
So I'm a vintage only collector.
Right. So okay. So you just stick with that.
Yeah, like 90, like Power of the Force and the Toy Biz X-Men Marvel stuff is kind of my tap out. That's right.
Yeah.
That's my last ditch.
Hey, Nate. You've got old Retro Tinkers here. So, everyone said hello to the Retro Tinker. What do you class yourself as, Brad? Because I don't class myself as a vintage. Like Adams just said, now he's a vintage collector, but I never have been. I've collected forever. Do you know what I mean? And to me, if it's a toy I like or a line I like, regardless if it's new, old, or whatever, do you feel this? Because you obviously get your hot toys, but then you'll go out and buy the vintage Voltron. So which way do you go?
I try to stick within a like right now, I'm all hot toys and helmets and props.
Yeah.
But I did do vintage Kenner and TVC. But if it's something that really appeals to me and I think that I can fit it into my collection,
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
It's once again, it goes back to the nostalgia feel. I know my other half is going to say when I bring that Voltron home, it's like, what is that? Why do you got that? That's like because that was the toy I dreamed about getting for Christmas on my birthday. I never got it,
Yeah.
and ended up getting it through a trade through my cousin because we always traded toys back in those days. So
People says all he had to do was point to Brad and Gary to the tables and they did do. Yeah, it was do all of what I was just
you part of that, sir.
Oh, yeah, I did that 3 times today. Yeah, it's hard in it to buy, but I suppose doing your rooms up too, don't you? You've got to say to yourself, calm down a bit. You're going mental. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and especially for us lot because we're eclectic. You know what I mean? They look around us. There's so many different types. It might be the same theme, but like there's hot toys, there's helmets, there's figures, there's this. We all go mad, don't we, for stuff? And
yeah,
honestly, I dread to think how much we spend.
So that's one of the reasons I give myself the rule of vintage only.
Yeah,
because there's a finite number of, there's a lot of them, but there's a finite number of vintage toys out there. So it keeps me from going too crazy.
Yeah, that's true. And you can complete lines as well. You know where the beginning and where the end is. It's like I've been doing Black Series since 2013 and I'm still buying them and hundreds of them all around my room and so on. And it's something that's going to keep going. That's one thing I do envy vintage collectors about. You can, go into a line that was mass producing and complete it basically. So do you agree with that, Brad? Or I mean, because you're a hot top buyer and they're never going to stop, are they?
But you see, I used to be a completionist, and when I went to this line, I knew it wouldn't be something I could be a completionist on.
Right.
So I guess it sort of has helped break me and humble me in a way.
Yeah.
But then there's other things that I collect that I am trying to be a completionist about, and you'll see that a little later.
Mr. B says, Dino's a bad influence. He got me wrapped up in a couple of lines that I don't even have in mind, but it's all good. He's helped me out a couple of times. I bet he has. Geek Strong says he only collects vintage. My thought is that the new will eventually become vintage.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Well, that's awesome. I'm going to put Brad up there because it's your show now, boys. And so let's get to your honorable mentions. Right, so what I'm going to do is make our Bradley, what's your honorable mention, buddy?
All right, so my first one is, so we'll go a little vintage here, but a mix of something else that's become a passion of mine too, is this right here. Ooh. This is just a regular Hong Kong Boba Fett. But this is also a letterhead from Jeremy Bullock's desk to somebody with his autograph at the bottom of it.
That's cool.
Wow.
And, I mean, yeah, they could have, whoever graded this should have had the, what is it? Is it the Hong Kong one or whatever Boba Fett put in there is what they should have done and been better. But it did get a grade of 85 and it's been verified as well.
Wow.
So, but yeah, that kind of stuff, I like to preserve something like this.
That's kind of nice though, because he's that sort of thing is where you don't have to be a toy collector for. You could have that, and because if you love that sort of thing and you add the one off, that's perfect stuff like that.
Yeah, that looks at home in a toy room or a lawyer's office. Like that's a classic piece.
You've hit the nail on the head, Adam. That's exactly what I mean. You could have that anywhere. So when did you get that?
So
did you get it? I'm sorry. Did you get it like that, Brad, or did you?
No, I bought it that way. So
right.
In the letter, it talks about a Michael that sent the letter wanting some autographs, and Michael Havens that runs ICCC. That was his piece at one time, and he sold it in an auction, and I purchased it. And I never done an auction, and I went all out on the bid. So I probably paid more than I had to for it. But if I want it, I want it. You can ask Gary. Brad doesn't take no for an answer. So
Oh, that was brilliant. And Zazel said as well, now he knows how hand felt. That is really cool, yeah.
But
Mr. B says he just purchased the concept Boba Fett signed. What a coincidence. Look
wow.
Nice. Yeah.
But it's got his home address on it, everything. It's from July 1997. So I like that piece. I wasn't the biggest Boba Fett fan. I wasn't. Don't shoot me, but I know how important Jeremy Bulloch was to Star Wars and everything. So
100% agree with that. Yeah. So there was a lot of people bidding on it as well, or?
Yeah, it was going back and forth at the beginning, and I was like, I'm fixing to put an end to this, and I just shot the moon. So
Boba Fett style, right?
Yeah,
style.
And I was telling somebody said this is not how it's done. I'm like, well, if you want it, you want it. So
don't say that's not how to do it. I did. It worked.
It worked. I got it. It's sitting in my office. So
right.
Mr. B says, have you ever Googled the address? That's a good idea.
I haven't. I really haven't. I should. I know his wife is still alive. I think she's still alive, but that's from because she did an estate sale not too long ago of some of his stuff. So
wow,
that should be their home still.
It's funny, isn't it? I don't know whether you two agree with this or not, but when you think of Boba Fett, it is Jeremy Bulloch, isn't it, that you think of? It's
absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely Jeremy Bulloch that you have a look at. Let's have a look. That Boba Fett is awesome. Coincidentally, I just put out a video interviewing Mark Austin's. So Brad's here. He says that Boba Fett is awesome. Hey, don't be. Listen, you on Shabby's. You got no problems at all, my friend. The Boba is awesome. Coincidentally, I just put out a video interviewing Mark Austin, special edition Boba Fett actor. Shameless plug. Look at him. Look at it. Well, that's awesome. I'll have to watch it. They are, dude. One of my favorite Southern sayings. Well, brilliant. Great video, Dino. They are. So awesome.
Beautiful.
That's a good start, man. That's a good start. Right. I've got some pictures here of Adam. So Adam's got two, and these are pretty impressive. So I'm going to start with this one first. Let me just get back here. This one right here.
Okay. So I mentioned earlier that I recently changed jobs. And so,
hi, Phil.
Hey, my man. I recently changed jobs last March. And so for about a year before that, a year and a bit, it was very stressful at my workplace, like very, very, very stressful. And so Zazel, who has become like closer than a friend through this YouTube thing, he's my brother from down under.
Just to say, it's so weird because he lives halfway across the world from you, but every time I see him, he's always with you.
Hey, that's right. So we started doing a show called "Is That Any of Your Toy Biz?" where we go through the history of Toy Biz, and it was so therapeutic for me just to like look forward to that, hanging out with my buddy, talking about toys in the middle of turmoil. And through that, both of us fell in love with the Toy Biz line. We didn't understand how it was we all started buying it. But when we got to US Agent,
Johnny,
both of us started gushing about how much of a US Agent fan we are. And so this US Agent was a gift to me from Zazel when he got here last June.
Awesome.
But he bought it on a toy hunt in Japan with Phil. So it's pretty special. It's two of my best buddies.
Yeah.
That's a figure they got. And then when we were in Canada, I found one and bought it for Zazel. So he has a Canadian US Agent, and I have the Japanese US Agent from Zazel and Phil. And so
that's awesome, man.
This is a relatively, it's not a well sought after figure.
No, it's the Toy Biz one, isn't it?
Yes, it's just a Toy Biz, figure. But on my carded wall is probably the one that represented friendship the most to me. So that was my honorable mention, was this Toy Biz US Agent.
It's awesome because, as you know, I make pop culture furniture, and one of my first pieces was chest of drawers. And I did it US Agent. It was all black, and the jaws were red and black, and I put the black star in right in the corner like that. So yeah, I always appreciate this one. That's awesome. Did you ever collect them, Brad? Toy Biz, the Marvel superheroes?
I did, yeah, one time, yeah, I did when originally back in the day, but they never got to stay on blister or anything. They got
but it's funny, isn't it? I always think that as well because, for example, going back to Joe Fest, I wanted to get Cy likes all the Marvels, so I wanted getting one of these, a Toy Biz one, and they had 3 Silver Surfers, all different, and I bought all luckily super awesome with the results. So John told me exactly which one to get, but it was just funny how this guy at Joe Fest had hundreds of these cards. The 90s one, early 90s one, these Toy Biz ones. And I couldn't believe it. Wow, look at all these that no one's ever opened, and he's selling them mint and so forth. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah. That's awesome. And your next one is something you designed, which is this. This is super cool.
So when I do custom figures, and lots of guys do way better work than me out there. But I like to make it look like they fit in the 80s. So I don't want to do airbrushing on them. I don't want to make them look better than they would have looked when they came out.
Yeah.
So this was my attempt at a second wave of Brave Star figures. So I called this the Fistful of Kyrium, Brave Star and Tex Hex. So they have Kyrium armor on, and they got the dusters on there, and I invented some new shotguns for them. And just kind of, but everything on them, from the armor to the guns to the hats, it's all printed and designed by myself.
I don't know how you 3D print it. I bought Lucy one, my daughter one, for Christmas. I think it was used once. I'd love to get into it, but I don't know how to start with all that.
Well, we'll do a video chat, and I'll do a little tutorial for you.
Just brilliant. Have you ever thought of considered doing that, Brad? Like customs and prints and all that sort of stuff?
So no, but like right now I'm building the DiAgostini Millennium Falcon. So that's getting me back to my artistic roots I used to have once upon a time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to see how I do with this first before I try to think about doing anything like that.
I know what they're. It's one of them that you do once every 2 weeks or something. You buy the magazine, buy the part, and all that sort of stuff. Because I've seen the R2 ones, and they did a Knight Rider one and a Back to the Future one that people were selling at conventions, and I thought that's super cool. Do you know what I mean? But,
yeah, absolutely.
It was a good idea. Have you ever done anything like? I remember when I was a kid, there was a sports magazine that did it with little pieces and so forth, and I get that or Simon, my twin brother, would get he did DC, these little DC lead statues, and it came with a thing, and he'd do that every week or every 2 weeks, whatever. And he had a big collection of them too. Have you ever done anything like that, Adam? Like a collected thing every week?
Not a collected thing a week. Not really. I think the only thing that would be like that was when I just wait for comic books to come out each week, right? You wait for your comic books to come. But no, I was never about buying, like, that sounds really cool. I wasn't really aware of it. But no, for me, even when I was a kid, my mom used to say, like, we buy you one toy and you make 3. Like, oh, look at that. Look at that.
There it is. Yeah. So just
what a piece of junk.
Yeah. That's the bottom part. And that's issues 1 through 50. And I've got one sitting there that I've got 2 months worth of them, and a third month down there on the floor. So I'm 3 months behind.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. We've got loads of people. There's over 40 people here. Everyone's coming to see you. So Totally Taylor's has shown up. Obviously Phil's shown up. Wow, it's packed. It's absolutely packed in here. Absolutely brilliant. Right, so there's your honourable mentions. Kind of nice. Very classy start so far, boys. Very classy. Let's get to your number 5. So this time we're going to start with you, Adam. So let me just get your pictures. Here we go. Right there. Share the screen. Here we go. So this is something I know you're big into. It's this right here.
Yeah. So this is actually another kind of sentimental one. So this is Slaughter's Marauders. So I got a big vintage G.I. Joe collection, like all kinds of them. And this is funny because as a kid, I didn't love the Marauders. I thought the color scheme was a little bit goofy. Like, I thought every version of these figures looked better in their original colors than the Slaughters Marauders colors. But as the collection grows, you get kind of hooked on collecting, and so you kind of want to get them all. But this team up here, so he's saying, "Can I have it?" The joke is he gave me that Sergeant Slaughter.
Got you.
So why this team is near and dear to me is I got some of the figures with my buddy Taverko. I got some from Wes from Fandom Power. I got Slaughter from Zazel, and then Zazel found me. I think it was Mutt. He found me the final one I needed in Joe Fest. And so he was there when I completed them. So I look at this.
So are these like vintage figures that just repainted then? Because I like I said, I don't know whether you've heard me say it for so many years now. I completely missed out on G.I. Joe as a kid. I don't remember it. I don't remember I remember Action Force and having Action Force, but when it became into G.I. Joe, I was all over. And it's funny because I see some of the British lads and the Irish lads have it, and I'm like, what the France? I don't, you know what I mean? I didn't even know it was available. So is this what these are? They're just variant paints of
7 of the figures or 6 of the figures there.
Right.
Is that one barbecue behind Sergeant Slaughter?
Yeah. Yeah.
I like G.I. Joe was a big part of my childhood too. And I don't remember these. I really don't.
No.
Yeah. So they were a couple years later after these figures came out. So there's Low Light and Footloose and Spirit and Slaughter and Mutt and Junkyard. And they're just kind of reissues to be this elite team for Slaughter to hang out with. And as a kid, I passed them by. But now, again, it reminds me of 3 of my best buddies kind of coming together to complete this collection and put it in part of my collection. So it's
So let me ask you both a question then. Was this something you really wanted, or is this something you were influenced by?
So I wasn't influenced to get them.
Right.
But when I bought the first one, I was like, well, I'd have to have the collection now. Like
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it? Sometimes you watch people's videos. I'll just get one of them.
Yeah, just get one.
And then about half an hour later, you bought 6 of them. They're awesome. So what year basically is this then? Late 80s, early 90s for this sort of Marauders look?
I think this is 87. I could be wrong. Zazel in the chat will tell me exactly when they were, but I think it was 87 was when these came out.
You were a big fan as well, Brad, of G.I. Joe as a kid. Yeah.
I was. I had like the Raven, the Sky Striker. Actually, this green that I'm seeing, there was a big jet that had a little bit of the green incorporated into it. I can't remember the name of it. I had it because it come out about the same time the armored Cobra Commander come out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And all I remember is I didn't want that Cobra Commander. I wanted the hooded Cobra Commander. That was my favorite one.
Got you. It's funny because I have got a couple of them. Andy sent in a Conquest, so I've got a vintage Conquest complete. Jeff Barker sent in a Mobile Command Center. You know, the one that's like a tackle box that comes out. I loved that thing. But and then every time I go to Joe Fest, I do buy a vintage G.I. Joe. I always ask the lads which ones are good. And I think the last one I bought was a snow job off. And then I remember Rob found me the ski for it. And so whilst we were there, oh no, the last one as well was Gary was finding me the what's it called? The one that's got the crocodile.
Crocman.
Oh, Killer Croc.
Yeah, I got all these lads searching for a Killer Croc and a whip at Joe Fest. It was great fun. I really enjoyed doing all that too. So I do get into them, but I remember watching our good friend Chris at Chasing 80s, and he showed this spaceship kind of thing at G.I. Joe. It was Front XP something. It was like a big silver bird thing. It was beautiful, and I thought, and it had a rubber nib at the end because he was going through it and he was restoring it and so forth. So it has made fascinating things. And the funniest thing is, lads, is if I was a kid, I think G.I. Joe, if I had it as a kid, it would have been my favorite. I mean, some of the stuff that these make, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
Just how big the toy line was and how expansive the world was, right? Yeah. Yes. It's pretty great.
Well, I was banging into all that. I was back into it, like play sets and mini vehicles and big vehicles. And I think that's why, obviously my love for Star Wars was all that, you know what I mean? You get the Falcon and all that sort of stuff. But Joe, when I look at Joe now through adult eyes, I always kick myself and say, I'd have loved all this as a kid. You know what I mean? Do you think you could ever finish it, ever complete it? Because there's so many in there of these.
You could, but it would not be quick and it would not be cheap.
No, I bet it wouldn't. No. Do you ever think of getting back into this now, Brad, G.I. Joe?
Oh, no, because I wouldn't be able to stop at one. I would have to be a completionist. So no,
Yeah. Yeah.
that I would be on a mad hunt for, and just watching Stu and everybody else try to
Yeah.
put this together. I
Yeah.
just no,
Yeah.
but I mean it did. It had. I mean, gosh, playing with those back in the day, the O rings coming loose or breaking, and trying to find a new rubber band to put around it to make work and
Yeah.
save your figures. It was man, GI Joe come out with some of the most awesome sets, and then the articulation for back in the 80s
Wasn't
was
that bad, was it? Yeah, it's really
phenomenal.
good.
Yeah, it
Hmm.
really was. I mean, for us being children's of the 80s or children of the 80s, uh we were really spoiled with stuff thrown at us every which direction. It's like GI Joe, Transformers, Star Wars, Voltron, you name it. We were really spoiled with some
Spoiled for
crazy
it. And I
stuff.
think that's why, I
But
mean,
we had cartoons to coincide
that's
with it
exactly
too,
right.
which
Comics,
was the
cartoons,
marketing
that's
ploy. Oh yeah.
exactly right.
Right.
I mean, it's no coincidence. I think there's only 10 years difference between all of us, isn't there, really? I mean, we're all banging into the same thing. And that's one of the things I've loved about building something that we all have is the fact that, you know, there's 3 countries here, America, England, Canada, yet we all grew up loving the same stuff. And then we found each other.
Yep.
I'm like, no way.
Yes.
Look, you know what I mean? And, you know, you've got Ireland, New Zealand, Australia, Japan. You've got people everywhere all loving the same stuff. And it's really, really nice because I've always said it can be a lonely thing what we do. Do you know what I mean? Especially if you've got no one to share it with. It's like my wife. I could sit there and tell her the history of Masters Universe. She ain't got to care less.
It's a very lonely life at home by yourself, and the other half has no interest in it at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Retro says individually the Marauders look okay. Together they look fantastic. The SM vehicles are epic. What are the SM vehicles?
So
Adam?
this team is called Slaughter's Marauders.
Right.
So that's the SM.
The Slaughters Marauders. Even the name sounds cool. Oh,
Sounds
brilliant.
so cool, right?
Yeah, it was a Quadmaster scavenger hunt. Yeah. Super Awesome Geek Show says there are over 1,000 G.I. Joe figures since 1982.
Yep.
Wow, man. Yeah.
And I have a big collection of vintage Joes. I
Yeah.
have to scratch the surface, right? Like
I know. Look at that. Whoa, 1,000. I know. Unbelievable. Transformers is over 10,000. Don't collect Transformers. Wow. Can you imagine, Brad? 10,000.
No.
Zazel, you almost get tired after snapping salutes to hundreds of songs. Joe's had so many repaints for different teams. Do you know that's never bothered me? That, you know, when people kick off nowadays, oh, it's just a repaint. I
love it.
All our childhood was that, from Transformers to He-Man, everything. Do you know what I mean? So I think Star Wars was the only one that didn't do it, but they continually made the same figure for years, didn't they? So
even the first 13 Joes were like 3 bodies and 3 heads all painted differently and swapped around.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They're just brilliant. I loved them. And your next one is this
one that I've made here. So I did an aliens video not too long ago where I made all the weapons, so the pulse rifle and the smart guns and whatnot. And this at the end of the video, I said it needs a cherry on top. And so the Kenner figures never made a good face hugger. So I designed up these little face huggers and then put them in hot water and molded them around. And it just makes the shelf pop and come alive. And I think it's a small little thing, but it might be my favorite thing I've ever designed. It looks so.
How do you come up with these ideas to do that, though? Do you just pick up something and you think, you know what, I can do this and do? How do you come up with the concept of making these customs?
Well, I said, like, for the Kenner Alien line, it suffered from 90s Kenner nonsense where it was like it'd be a good figure, like a good action figure. And then it'd have a big missile launcher, and you're like, well, that's not what they had in the movie or the show. I just want the real gun. Yeah. And so, like, the Kenner Aliens line famously never had the pulse rifle that was the thing in the movie until like a third wave rare Vasquez figure. So I said, it started with like, okay, well, I'll see if I can design up a pulse rifle. Like, part of it's just to see if I can do it. And so when I designed the pulse rifle, well, that worked. I was like, okay, well, I'll see if I can make the smart gun. So I made the smart gun, and I said, oh, I'll make Hicks's shotgun. Okay. And then I put the video together, and I was like, if I had it face huggers, that would really make this pop. And I just think it really makes the shelf look alive.
Yeah, look at that. I love this. I know he's brilliant. Look at that, Brad. It's just
Wow.
superb. Jonathan says, how many Black Series figures are there? Seeing Hasbro puts out easily 100 years. That line must be over 1,000 by now. Yeah, I can't stop buying them, to be honest. I think I'm the reason why they keep doing it. That's why they don't number those like they do the TVC. Yeah, that makes sense. Wow, that's unbelievable. That is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. All right, Brad, what's your number 5, buddy?
All right, so we're gonna go mobile here because, as we said, when it comes to redoing the room, curating your collection is not one of the funnest things to do. So I don't want to knock everything over. So
Right.
we're going to go for a little trip. So I'm gonna sort of cheat here, and excuse me, I'm trying to. So this Vader helmet and saber is a master replicas from the early 2000s.
Wow.
The Vader mask is from Return of the Sith, Revenge of the Sith, excuse me, and it is cast from the same helmet that Hayden Christensen wore.
I was going to say that looks like the Revenge of the Sith helmet. That's
yeah,
brilliant.
It's got the long neck. You can't really. This one's very hard to wear with a costume, and I did try that back in the day. And then the saber is the Revenge of the Sith's Darth Vader saber too. Limited edition, and that one's 2,250 of. I don't know how many came out with it. I actually saw the price of it today, but it's high. But no, this was two of my first biggest purchases I ever made as a young adult. I've had these for over 20 years. Well, yeah, 20 years. So these really have a special place in my heart because this is where I spent a large amount of money at the time as a 20 something year old, and then finally get to hang on to it and get to display it. It stayed in a box for well over a decade before it finally got to come out and be displayed. So
super cool. Cool.
But
yeah, it's those are some remarkable pieces. I really like that. So.
Yeah, so you two have basically done the same thing. You've collected forever. You know what I mean? Whether it's been displayed or not, you've always. I mean, obviously you have your kids and you go through. But I've always picked up something throughout all my years. Have you two not? No.
Yeah.
So my wife asked me the other day. She goes, "Have you ever in your life ever walked into a store that has a toy aisle and not gone down it?" And I said, "No, that'd be unnatural." I goes, "What are you talking about?"
That'd be weird. What? Yeah. Just buying milk and not going anywhere else?
Yeah. And I don't even collect modern toys. I just liked it. It's just a thing.
Yeah. That's so weird. That you're exactly right. I can't think of ever going to Walmart and Target and not going to the toilet. First place I go, I suppose.
That's the first place to go.
First place, yeah.
What else is there to do? I'll let you go with somebody else and you have to lose them. It's like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, that's, yeah. My wife likes it.
Right. No, there's one this way.
Because when we go out, my kids will come with me. So I'm always with them. Do you know what I mean? So my wife can have a good look round and all that sort of stuff without me going, oh, look, it's Batman. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So again, about those lightsabers, you've got a couple of them up there and so forth.
Yeah.
Is this the sort of gun you look more for, like the master replica kind of thing though than you do like the Galaxy's Edge ones or the Black Series ones?
So the Galaxy Edge ones are a little bulkier.
Yeah,
and
they
not
are
really true to scale. And when you hold, I mean, don't get me wrong, they have a great presence and everything, but with the Black Series ones are really doing some good things. The only thing that the Black Series needs to do is come up to where the blade can be removable. Well, actually, you can. I take that back. I'm sorry.
I think you can now because I remember buying
the. You can now, yeah. So I take it back.
Yeah.
So
I bought the Luke one. And you're right, because the hilt, remember, it's thin at the top, Luke's, and it's not on the Black Series. It was the first one they made. It was thick, and I thought, I only wanted the one because, like I said, Luke's green lightsaber, ignite the green. I was all for that.
Right.
But I know they redid it a couple of years back, didn't they? Made it a bit thinner that you can remove them now. But at the time, you are right, Brad. So it's really just the hilt you wanted to display more than so you can take
Absolutely. I mean, it'd be great to have them on the wall lit up or something, but this goes back to that expensive or inexpensive thing. I was really at odds with whether I should get the Black Series Dark Saber or get the Galaxy's Edge Dark Saber. And I went back and forth, and I was like, the weight of this thing, the look of it, it's spot on. So I don't like the blade as much as I would have liked to have the one that I think Galaxy's Edge had.
Yeah.
But once again, that's not what I'm displaying. So I went
What do you
with the
think of
Black
Galaxy's
Series.
Edge? Do you like it?
Yeah. So I stuck with the Black Series, but now I do have I think I've got Anakin's lightsaber up there and Cal Kestis's from Disney from Galaxy's Edge. They're just a little thicker than normal.
I
What
was
do you think? Go on.
I was shooting a music video for my buddy's band, and his one guy in his band had just come back from Galaxy's Edge. He went down to the Star Wars thing, and he was so excited to show us the lightsabers he got. Like, he was like, guys, I went down there and I spent the money, and he was so excited, and he bought Kylo Ren and Mace Windu's lightsaber. And I'm like, these are the two you chose of all the lightsabers in Star Wars: The Galaxy. These are the two you want to have.
Kylo Ren's, you know what I mean? Yeah. I suppose it's a cool lightsaber, though, isn't it? The way it's done. But have you ever been to Galaxy's Edge, Adam? I've never been.
I've never been. No.
My
big trip each year is Joe Fest. That's
I suppose you're right for that. But let me ask you something. As an original trilogy guy, Brad, do you like Galaxy's Edge? Is it worth? You know what I mean?
It was. I enjoyed it. The Falcon ride. I know a lot of people don't like it because you get stuck on a ride with people you don't know. I took a friend of mine with me, and we actually got to do it alone in the cockpit, and it was really fun. But she got to do the hyperdrive, and I didn't, so missed that sort of interaction. Going into the Rise of the Resistance ride, yes, I'm not the biggest sequel trilogy fan. However, going into a Star Destroyer's docking bay with 3 or 4 rows of First Order stormtroopers and everything, that was just wow. It just like
that's what Andy Alaconical says. Same thing. You know what I mean? You don't have to be a sequel fan to enjoy Galaxy's Edge.
It was good. Yeah. So I enjoyed it. I really did. I can forget about the bad storytelling and then just enjoy the Star Wars aspect of it. That's all I want.
And do you get involved into the world then? So it does feel like, does it feel like Star Wars?
To feel like you're somewhere that you've always wished you could be.
Yeah, because I think
stand in front of the Falcon and
that's what it is for me. I think if I think I'd shit myself if I saw that Falcon. I think I'd be like, so no awesome. Way, look at that. I'd turn into an 8-year-old kid. Do you know what I mean? I think that's what I would go for just to see that thing.
I think if you were there with me and you would break the barricade and try to get up the ramp on that thing.
Yeah,
open up, dang it!
I have to phone Gary Moore to bail us out. Hey, Gary.
Yeah, that's right.
Can you imagine him turning up at Copper Station and be like, get these two idiots out? Oh, brilliant. Geek Strong said, I go into a gas station and look at the toy rack toys. They still sell toys at gas stations.
Never know what you'll find.
Going down the toy aisle determines how many groceries I buy. Yeah. Mr. B says Google says there are 922 the Black Series figures. Wow, already. Wow. Unbelievable. Zazel said he went to the Star Tours ride in Japan. Hearing C-3PO in Japanese is a trip, man. Oh, now that would be cool. Yeah, I bet it would. Mr. B says there's a gas station a couple of towns away that sells old 50s, 60s repro toys. Wow. I know they sell the die-cast cars, don't they? The bigger ones in things like gas stations, but I never knew that. It's still a Disney spectacle. I bet it is because Andy said that to me. Like I said, Andy said it's just brilliant to go and you know what I mean. You feel like you're immersed in it. Would you ever go then, Adam?
I'd go and check it out. Yeah. I love being immersed in different worlds. So my wife actually has a little company she started with a friend where they do mobile escape rooms. So they'll come to your house or to your work or to an outside and they'll plan a themed escape room. So they just did like a Lord of the Rings-esque escape room at this farm in town throughout the summer. And so I had to be a hobbit and a boat traveling around. And it's just cool to create a world. Anytime you step into a world and you get to just like push off the world we live in for a few minutes, that's an escape that I'm always in support of.
Oh yeah, I love stuff. I remember when I was in London, I used to go to those murder mystery things in old manor houses just outside London, and it's like a bed and breakfast. So you'd stay overnight, but someone's murdered, and you have to, do you know what I mean, like a whodunit. And I loved that kind of thing. Going expensive, but it was worth doing it. Hey guys and gals, I'll be watching the replay late tonight. Looking forward. Adam, big fan of your work.
Oh, thank you.
Jonathan Redmond said, "What does R2 sound like in Japanese?" I think I can tell you. He's still beeped out since he's the dirtiest character in Star Wars. So.
That's right.
What does
it's funny when they were talking about gas station toys and whatnot. Have either of you guys watched the show Kim's Convenience?
I love it. Love Kim's Convenience. And then when I saw him in Star Wars, he was in the what is it? Yeah.
He lives just 20 minutes from me. He's a Canadian guy.
He's a big toy collector too, and he has a YouTube channel with all his toys and so forth. Yeah,
been on my channel as a guest for my race video.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah,
so he's a really cool guy. But I have a friend who knows people in CBC, and so I got to go see the set. And the convenience store isn't a real store; it's a set.
Yeah,
and they've just nailed what like a Canadian convenience store looks like.
Yeah,
and even to the fact there's like these old dolls on the top shelf behind the counter, and there's like in every little corner store you go to, they're there, and you're like, we don't know why they're there. And the producer's like, yeah, we have those there because that's what it looks like, and they're there because every now and then a father is driving home, and he's like, oh no, it's my kid's birthday, and I need to give them something. And it's 10 o'clock at night, and they're like, pull into the corner store and like, do you have any toys here? And like, we've got this doll. Here, this is what you want. It's like, well, happy birthday, daughter. So it's
have you got any dolls without a moustache? No, that's all right. I'll take it. Do you know what I mean? Right, we're an hour in, and we've got over 40 again. So thank you all so much for supporting us here. Absolutely brilliant. Let's get to number 4. Right, so we're at number 4. I'm just going to get Adam's pictures. Here we go. Got him right here. This is cool as well. Wait till you see this, Brad. This is awesome. Let's have a look. There they are. Okay.
All right. So I know we're all big Transformers fans here.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, I loved the GoBot show. And when you were out in the toy store, you could get a Transformer or like 4 GoBots. And so I was a GoBots guy. They made more sense to me because they scaled with Hot Wheels and they scaled with each other. So like I could never get my head around Bumblebee being a Volkswagen Beetle and Megatron being a handgun. Like in my mind, I couldn't force perspective in my playtime enough for that to make sense.
You sat and thought about it. Yeah, well, I got to be
right. So I was a GoBots kid, and all I wanted one Christmas was this command center. And so I remember getting it, and I have like vivid memories of my dad and I putting it together on Christmas morning and like all the pieces, and it was incredible. And then, you know, because it was so played with, it went the way of the dodo bird. And then last summer, a guy popped this up on Marketplace, and it was $20.
Wow.
For the complete command center and 8 GoBots. And I was like, in the middle of dinner, I just got up. I'm like, Heather, I'll be back. And I just like got in the car, and I was like on a mission.
Stick it in the microwave. I'll be back in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was like, I can't let this deal go. So, and then since then, I've gotten more GoBots to add to it. But like, to me, these were perfect toys. Why? Hasbro, because Hasbro owns the rights to them, doesn't just, not as a nostalgic thing, just reissue these GoBots. Kids, they're the size of Hot Wheels. They'd only be a couple of bucks.
Yeah.
And when kids come over and see these, like modern kids, they're like, they can fit in their hand. They scale the Hot Wheels. I think it's silly that whoever has a license for these isn't selling GoBots all the time.
It's funny as well, because as kids, I don't know whether YouTube did it or not. There's no difference. Me and GeForce were talking about this. There's no difference between GoBots and Transformers. As kids, they're all robots in disguise, if you will. Right. You know what I mean?
I think GoBots actually came before Transformers, if I'm not, and that because it was a Japanese thing.
Yeah.
Before, and then it got Americanized, and then Transformers come along, and because gosh, Psykill was one of my favorite characters. Don't ask me.
Yeah.
I'm always the baddie, but the only thing was his arms. I don't know if that's the small version or the little bit larger version, but their arms were made of a very, not even plastic. I don't even know what you'd call it, but they break real easy. It was really sad. Mine was armless really quick. So
Yeah, it was that plastic they had to use to get the vac metallized effect, right? So the same thing as
yeah,
film. It was a very, very brittle plastic for sure.
I remember this thing because when it was closed, it looked like an AT-AT, didn't it? It looked like a knockoff AT-AT.
Yep, it was my AT-AT growing up. I
Yeah.
closed it up, and it could be Star Wars, it could be anything. It was, yeah.
That's a great selection of
I
GoBots.
love
there.
that.
That is really cool.
Yeah, no, I just love GoBots. I think if a gun to my head, someone was like, "What was your favorite toy growing up?" I think GoBots is in that realm.
Did they ever bring these back at all, like they do with the replicas or master? So they haven't touched GoBots at all, Adam.
I think Hasbro, when they got the rights to GoBots, was like, okay, we won. Transformers won, and they did release 3 last year, but they were just repainted Transformers in GoBots colors, and they were called GoBots.
I remember that. Yeah.
Like, that's not what a GoBot is. Like, you're missing.
Who made GoBots when we were kids? Because if Hasbro did Transform, who did?
Tonka.
Tonka did GoBot.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny you should say that about Tonka. I never knew they delved into Star Wars, but I've got a Millennium Falcon that's just parts and whatever. And I looked underneath it, and it says Tonka on it. And I was like, no way. I never knew Tonka did that.
The best thing Tonka did, and they're very expensive right now, and I found one at a thrift store last year, then I gave it to my cousin for Christmas because he's a big fan. But do you remember Steel Monsters?
I loved Steel. Matt's just got into him. Matt Buntz on CSR. Yeah. I love Steel Monsters. Me and John saw a box one at Joe Fest. Did you remember them, Brad? The big Steel Monster. It was like a die-cast huge thing. I tell you what, if that hit you when you were a kid, you'd lose your leg. It was
I don't.
It was all the Tonka trucks, like the dump truck and the Jeep and the loader, and it was just all repainted.
Yeah, it's like a Mad Max style.
Like Mad Max. They had these Mad Max style figures with them.
Yeah, I still got a couple of the figures. I've got none of the actual, what is it? But they've gone so expensive because it was a very, very limited collection, Brad. It wasn't a big line at all. I think it was about 4 or 5 vehicles and about 4 or 5 figures. It wasn't huge, but I loved them as a kid. Yeah, and that was Tonka. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that was Tonka at its peak, other than GoBots. Yeah, and I just think like they're just ready to go. And then staying in the Transformers in Disguise thing. Now, Shabby, you were right beside me when right after I bought my complete Ultra Magnus at Joe Fest.
Yeah, you did. Mm-hmm.
But this one I got at a toy show, and it was just the cab and the legs. That's all it was. So everything else is 3D printed and designed.
The helmet is and everything there.
The helmet, the missiles, the guns, the fists, the belt, the little ramp.
Is that Ultra Magnus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So didn't the rig part of it fit in on the back side of it?
Yeah. So the cab part, like the white Optimus Prime, fits in, and then his head goes on. But yeah,
unbelievable.
This was my favorite Transformer, and so I have one in my collection. But I have a few. Not to get weird, I have a few of my favorite, like of my toys. A double on my nightstand. I have a little display on my nightstand as you normally would. Yeah. And so I wanted an Ultra Magnus for it. But when I saw this, it was again just the red trailer and the cab, like the white cab, and it was $6 because it was all incomplete. And I said, I wonder if there's a challenge. I wonder if I could print off every part and design every part for an Ultra Magnus. And I think it looks great.
It looks fantastic. If you never said it, I would never even guess that. Unbelievable. How do you start with it though? Do you have to buy the plans or something, or do you have to code it all yourself? How do you do it?
So I just someone actually asked me if I could do a tutorial video just of how I design stuff, and I was like, maybe I'll do that.
Yeah.
But basically, I start in my 3D space, and I only have 3 shapes I can work with. I have a cube, I have a disc, and I have a sphere. And so I just cut those and stretch those and make those and start piecing them together, and I kind of build the pieces that I need to. And so sometimes I have picture references, sometimes I have a reference in my hand to try to recreate. But yeah, my whole thing is everything on my channel is I've designed it from the ground up. So there's no it's not just printing stuff off, because boring just to print stuff off. It's the idea of
just a bit of a plug for you as well. Your channel, if you're not subscribed, is in the link in the description below, so you can find where GoFigure's channel is right there. But that's impressive, that, isn't it, Brad? Look at that.
Yeah, so it's funny. You was talking about Ultra Magnus being your favorite Transformer. As a kid, I remember when I went to see the movie, he was always trying to think he was the leader and trying to open up the what you call it, and he was the only Transformer to drop a cuss word in that movie.
Yeah,
And
that's,
I just like, for some reason, I just hated him after that.
He's centre foremost on the Transformers the movie poster as well.
He is.
Yeah, he's a big one. So
it was a big bait and switch. So I think if Hasbro, instead of killing Optimus Prime because they wanted to make room for new toys, if they just sold this toy as, you know, Prime Optimus and made him like the Galvatron, like the upgraded version of Optimus Prime,
yeah,
would have been the same character, just another version of him, and then we wouldn't have all been sad that they were dead. It would just been like, now I have to have this as well. I think they missed the opportunity there.
Yeah. Oh, just brilliant. Look at this. So Jibo says 3D modeling is not too. I can't even use the Amazon stick. I mean, kids go mad and press the wrong button constantly. They're like, you know.
To get a little technical and nerdy, the big 3D printing guys don't like my channel because they say I do it wrong. Because I don't use like an AutoCAD program. I just use a slicing program where you're supposed to just like import your design and then
we go, actually.
Yeah, I get a lot of like, oh, you're using that program wrong. I was like, okay, as soon as it stops working for what I'm doing, I'll stop using it. But it hasn't yet. So I think I'm okay.
Yeah. I worked with Fusion with my printer when it was alive. What's Fusion? I don't know what that is.
That's just a modeling software, like a 3D manipulating software.
Would you ever do it, Brad? Would you ever get into 3D printing?
Oh God!
If you could, Brad, what would you make? What was the first thing you make?
It would be Star Wars oriented. I know that much. I don't know. Probably like a helmet that I'd like to see made and do it myself, maybe. But I see people do some amazing stuff. I mean, it's even something that's going to be have joints or something in it. You can print it with the joint. When you take it off there and take the crap off of it, it's already a working piece. You just got
amazing. And how big you can make it and stuff. You see that, you know, people make replica life size. We saw Joe Fest figures, you know, that were life size, and you're like, wow, you know.
Yeah,
like the droid, the B droid, battle droid. I'd like to have one of those, or something like that. I'd be all game for that.
Can you imagine? Brilliant. All right, Brad, what's your number 4, buddy?
All right, here we go with the shaky camera. So this one is a newer piece.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's
sick. I was going to give you a little bit of so this was a Mythos figure before it became a Hot Toys figure, and I always wanted the Mythos figure, but it's a lot bigger than this. And when they announced this last year as a Hot Toy release, I was like, I gotta have it. So there was like 3 or 4 different options for his helmet, but I thought having a piece of Vader's helmet and his face showing through it was the better option for me. Well, I'll set this down here for right now, but like the base lights up. I don't know if you can tell his saber's lit up.
Yeah, it looks great.
But I'm sorry.
Is there actual water in that Bacta tank, or is it just an illusion?
Oh yeah, no, this is real water. I can turn up the.
Oh, that's sick!
That's awesome. That's super cool.
Yeah. No, that was on Facebook, and I was like, I gotta have that. So, because I doubt they'll ever do anything like that in Hot Toys, but I like that. But this thing is just freaking phenomenal. And I don't know, can you tell anything about the cape? What does the cape say to you?
Well, it's flowing. It's burnt up. Is it solid? It's not. It's
solid. So that is supposed to represent his helmet right there. The triangle.
Yeah. So it is. Look, you can see it.
Yeah. So that's
sick.
That's super cool. Yeah, that cape is an awesome design, Phil. Look at that. Wow, Vader's face. Yeah, Des got it. Wow.
Yeah, and I mean, all
Yeah,
burned
that's
up
awesome.
with the robotic parts on his legs showing. It's a really good piece. They did a really good
Really
job
good.
on it.
Yeah, that's incredible.
That is amazing. So when did you
So
buy that? Years ago? Is that or a couple of
no,
years?
that
Brand
just
new.
come out this year. I've only had it for like 2 months, I think, but it's one of my favorite pieces.
Oh
One of my
yeah.
favorite Vader pieces I have. So
Yeah, it's funny because yours is the same type of thing. G-Force has got a Sars Ventress one, and it's beautiful, all the thing. But I'd always be scared to death with it breaking or fall. You know what I mean? Because the pieces all come off or whatever. If that does happen, is there any way you can replace that or no?
no, no,
That's
not that I
it.
know
Done.
of. It's like getting his head back on to put that cape on was really hard. It comes with a fabric one with wires in it that's tattered, but you wouldn't be able to recreate that. So,
No.
but
No.
that right there, that's just one of the speaking points of the piece. So that's why I
Yeah,
wanted to put
I
that
bet
up
it.
there and put it
I
in a
bet it
good
comes
safe
all
space.
packed and everything, doesn't it? So
Oh,
it's
it
like,
was the
yeah,
box. So like Hot Toys boxes are usually like that big.
yeah.
Well, this was like this big just because of the cape. So
Brilliant, brilliant. I tell you what, I'm glad you two are finishing off this season. You showing some awesome stuff, man. I'm like, they're all like that. No way, no way.
It's almost funny how awesome that Vader was, but when you turn to the back to tank now, it's like that's better. Like that's the
Yeah,
coolest thing I've ever
that
seen.
Pankton tank
well,
was super cool. Yeah, that was.
so it's funny. Let's see it. Might have to blow me up, Mark.
No problem, buddy.
But you can. It comes with the little control, and I can change the colors to whatever I want to, or I can just have it go different things. The blue works better because it looks like the movie, or you could do
Yeah,
the red, but I like the blue.
that is
So
ridiculous. Mr. B asked, he'd love to know how you got that back to tank. Yeah, where's that from?
what it's oh you had to ask. Their name is on it. Hang on a second, I'll tell you, and you can look them up.
Yeah.
Actually, it's on the top of here.
So is it a custom one, Brad? Is that what it is?
It's 3D. You can tell it's 3D printed.
Adam,
So
we'll get Adam to make you one.
Here,
I'll give you these Instagram. We'll all DM Adam after this. Adam, make us one of them. Make us one of them.
2025 has
Dekor.
been
DEKORK.
decor.
Wow. What are we saying, Adam?
I was like, well, 2026 we have joked is the year of the playset on
Yeah.
my channel because I've done a lot of playsets, and so I'm toying around with what I'm going to do for my Christmas Eve episode because I do a Christmas Eve episode every year, and so I might.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's a busy work day for me. My phone has been going off like
You
crazy.
do not have to apologize, my friend.
It's all
You know what I
good.
mean?
But
It's
I think
Shabby's like I say, no one knows any different.
I think I just got inspired to do a vintage.
But no, I saw that on Facebook, and I didn't know exactly what the scale of it was. It's probably more 1/12 scale, like Black Series,
Right.
but it speaks for itself, so it
Oh,
deserved a place up there.
So
Yeah.
you were inspired to make what?
I think the Christmas Eve episode might be to make a vintage style Kenner back to tank in that style, but do it vintage Kenner style playset. That might be the move.
I remember the Power of the Force did it. They did one, didn't
Yeah.
they? And I thought that was cool. But when I saw that,
That was
what? That's unbelievable. Let's have a look. G4 says, I have aluminum extrusion that I'm going to make a frame for using an acrylic case for a Sarge. Tired of dusting it. Yeah, it's a beautiful piece, that. It really is. Do you buy any of these statues, Adam? Have you got anything like? I've got nothing like that. Nothing.
No, I just do figures and play sets.
I do like watching those videos though, lads. You know what, people have got the huge, like the whole house is covered in these huge ass statues. I think they're beautiful.
Like, there's stuff. If I had unlimited space and unlimited money, I would have everything that's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I just, you got to live within your means and your space, and so that's why I'm vintage only, figures and some play sets and vehicles. That's kind of where I live.
Yeah.
And you gotta, even some of the play sets that I've just made. Like I just made a Chuck Norris Karate Commandos dojo play set, and And it's too big. I had to put it in a box and put it in stores. I couldn't display it anywhere.
Oh, I've just gone through them, man. I don't know if you've known or not. I've never sold anything. Last year, I let a few. I mean, a couple of years I let a few pieces go, but this year I've cleared out my whole barn, and a toy guy came round. All my TVC, all my loose stuff. I mean, I kept my Kenner, obviously my vintage, but everything else I just let go. And it was refreshing, to tell you the truth. I thought I'd be gutted, and I wasn't. It was my wife that said, if it's not out on display, all he's going to do is get ruined. And then I had the opportunity. I thought, well, you know what? I could give somebody else a go here. Somebody else might really need that figure that I've just got shoved in a loft somewhere. Do you know, in a shed somewhere? So it was weird. Have you ever done that yourselves, where you've had to let stuff go? And how does it feel to do that?
In 2018, I sold my entire collection.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, because I changed jobs in 2018 as well. And that was the only time in my life I left my job with nowhere to go. I was like, I just need to leave here.
Right.
And so because we didn't know what things were going to happen, I sold everything. I said, to prove what I had been saying my entire collecting life, family does come first. I said, I need to just be okay to sell everything. And so I sold it all. And there was a lot of modern stuff in that collection. Probably more modern than vintage in that when I sold that collection off.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very refreshing. And I was like, okay. And then very quickly I landed another job and got stable again. So then I said, I think I want to do vintage this time. So this whole collection is only maybe 7 years old.
Wow. You bought all that in 7 years. What the fuck?
Adam, you're overpaid, sir.
Yeah, how much is he making?
Remember, 95% of this is like broken deal toys that I restore. So it's not all. I'm not paying premiums for sure.
What about you?
That just makes me think of that line from Batman Returns when the two guards got Catwoman in the Shreks, and it's like, goes, ma'am, please don't hurt us. We don't make no more than minimum wage. You're overpaid.
You're overpaid, yeah. What about you, Brad? Have you let anything go, Brad? Or
so funny thing is, during COVID, I remember I bought my little nephew the Emperor deluxe set from Amazon for Black Series with the chair.
Yeah.
And I also bought him the General Kenobi one. I can't remember what number it was, him and his robe and his armor. And I got to looking at it. I was like, man, look at the quality and the realness of this. Mm-hmm. So I was like, this might be something I could get into. So I did. And like I said, I'm a completionist. So I went back all the way to the orange series, to the blue series, then to the red box numbers. And then when they started doing the corner boxes, it got to where they were doing so many repetitive characters over and over again. Mm-hmm. Now, I collect because I love it, but there has to be also, let's just be real. If life gets you down, it's got to have some kind of investment strategy. It's your liquid investment. So
it
had to be worth something. And I felt like Hasbro was destroying the worth of my collection. So I got upset. I was like, I'm going to get out of this. And because I started watching Usual Mike.
Yep.
And Usual Mike was collecting them at that time. But then he started doing TVC.
Oh, we love Usual Mike.
I got into TVC. But I was upset. I was like, you can't do this. You can't collect two different things. That's just wrong. You're messing up the channel here. But then I got into TVC, and then that's when I found Only One Kenobi and Bosk Bounty.
Yeah.
And that was a very expensive completionist row to go on.
So you got influenced by people like that, but now you're an influencer yourself, because Mr. B's just said, I've just ordered one. My poor one.
Yeah, because
I'm influencing people. Look at
I didn't have nobody to influence me with hot toys. I just saw them. When you go to these nice toy shops and see a hot toy, it's like, wow, that's a priceless thing. But the thing about it is, I had all my vintage collection stuff, and it was all packed up. It took up almost half a garage for a car, packed up, from the sail barge, the Razor Crest, you name it. I just got to the point, it's like, I'm my own card collector. I'm not going to be able to display this stuff the way I want to. and I want to see my collection.
Yeah.
So I sold it and got into Hot Toys where I can take them out because the
Yeah.
boxes aren't sealed, and I can turn around and put it back in the box. And it's not 100% like it ain't really lost its value as to where when you take it off the blister,
Yeah,
it's gone.
especially with TVC because it is the card specifically in it. You take that because I
Yes.
did it. I got the first 100 and I got rid of all them because I was taking them off. And I was like, "What are you taking them off the card for?" And I was like, "Well, I'd rather display them not on the card." Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I've been through that area, if you will. But
So
when I let them go,
I have a friend, a very good friend, who's a mint with card collector. So the majority of his carded stuff has the card and vintage stuff, Star Wars,
Yeah.
Judge Ovid, the card, and the bubble, and then paper clips holding the bubble on. So he has it, he can see it, but he can also like take it out, play
yeah,
with it a little bit, put it back in. And he's like, I prefer having mint with the card as opposed to mint on the card because I can
yeah.
manipulate it. I was
Yeah,
like,
it makes sense what you're
yeah,
saying. It really
I mean,
does. So I think that's the thing. We all do it differently, don't we? As well. And I always said I'd love to have a Return of the Jedi Luke on card, and I was looking for one of them at Joe Fest, and I saw one, but the bubble was so yellow, lads. You couldn't even see the figure. Anyway, like 325 quid for it. And I'm like, no, I don't. It'd be
so
nice for you,
and
you know.
with that, and again, if you want to, if you're not a, you know, like super, anal about the whole thing is a terrible word, but the retro collection, if you want to have a vintage Luke on card for $10, you get that, and it looks
Got it. Yeah.
and you just have it, and it scratches that itch, right?
I
'Cause
think so. And
card's not yellow. It's the, like,
no.
you know what I mean?
Because to me as well, it's like I said, it was just nice to have it back on card. So when those retro ones came out, I loved that. I thought, yeah, there it is, brilliant. It gave me that childhood buzz, you know what I mean? And I'm not 300 and something quid out of
Right?
pocket. Right. Anyway, let's get to number 3. Right. So Brad, what's your number 3?
All right. So if it wasn't for the next two pieces, this would probably be number 1.
Oh,
But
getting down to the nitty gritty, you see.
yeah, get into the nitty gritty here.
Yeah.
So this means a lot to me. So we're going from toys, collectibles to stuff now that really connects you to to the fandom that you're part of.
Yes, sir.
So getting into this beyond the toys, it got to me meeting these actors and stuff, and what made our childhood so great. So connecting with these people, but I got to come across something that was actually on the set of Return of the Jedi during one of my favorite scenes. So
Oh, wow.
that right there, this is the call sheet, whatever you want to call it, that was on set in the book. It's not the original drawing because the original drawings were never on set. They were on a board in the room. They made copies of it. You took it out to the set so you knew how to do your scene, set up your scene. And this is also signed by Dave Russell. And when I looked him up, he was on the set for it. I don't remember exactly who he was. I don't know if he's the person that drew the animatic or what, but it was signed 883. And
Wow.
I just and that's just one of my favorite scenes, the redemption of Vader. When he said enough, I understand
So
now.
cool.
So, but
That is unbelievable. So how do you come across stuff like that? Then you just saw it and thought, I have to have
so
it.
prop store auctions this kind of stuff off all the time. They've actually got some from A New Hope, some from Empire Strikes Back, and I hope to get some of them eventually. I just haven't got a chance to stop going to conventions and spending money so I can turn around and buy that.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. But it just to know that David Prowse, Mark Hamill, Ian McDermott, everybody was somewhere. George Lucas, you name it. Those people were around that book, probably pointing at it, pushing on it, and no, this is what we got to do. We got to have more wires hanging out of Vader's hand, whatever. That it just wow. Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I see a lot of pictures of you and Gary. You go to these conventions, you meet loads of stars, and you know, and I think
Yes.
that's awesome. I've never been one for that. There's only been a couple of people I was in the tailoring game. I made suits and stuff, so I've met loads of stars. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And you know, it's through the job I did and so forth. So I was never really. I think it's just, and I lived in London for a long time, and it wasn't really. You saw them all the time, but there was two people that struck me the most. One was Jem when I met Jem at Show Fest, because I just thought
that was
the other one was oh yeah, but the other one was David Prowse. I met him at Star Wars Fun Day about 20 years ago. Me and our side, we took my family, and he was and what a really, really, really nice fella. And it was nice to sit there and talk to him. And he had a lot of time, you know, because usually, I don't know, I'm one of those people, I suppose, maybe a bit, you know, like if you met somebody, because I've met a few people that have turned around and said, oh, actually, Shabby, he wasn't the person I thought he was, and all that. Do you know what I mean? And I'd be like, oh, but he was lovely. And I tell you, he was really nice as well. We had lunch at this place. It was at Burnley. It was at Turf Moor in England. And we'd sat down, and this lady had come over to us and asked if she could have lunch with us. And then I was looking at her, and it was the woman who played Aunt Beru in Revenge of the Sith, and she was just in the latest one, and she was lovely. I can't remember her name, but what a nice girl she was. So I understand that sometimes you'll come across something or meet somebody or something, you just think, I have, you know, it's a lovely story behind it, isn't it?
Abby, you have an unfair advantage because it's hard to be rude around you.
Oh no!
You're dancing around and doing stuff, but you can't be unhappy around the Shabster.
I just thought, it's like I've said before. Look at what we do. Look at this. How can this not put a smile on anything? And it's not necessarily toys. We're all big pop culture enthusiasts, aren't we? All of us. You know, like you say, I see your pictures. I don't know whether you've ever seen them, Adam, or not, but have a look on Instagram. There's some pictures of Gary Moore and on Brad, and the smiles on their faces meeting these people. It's just like, that's what it's all about. Do you know what I mean? Having a great time. Is there anyone you've ever met famous, Adam, that you think?
Yeah, so I have when my wife and I were engaged.
Yeah.
We went and saw the movie The Scorpion King.
Right.
And so we came out of the theater, and she said, I need you to know two things. And I said, what's that, my love? And she goes, I love you, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you.
Right.
The other thing is, if The Rock ever makes himself available, I will not be able to say no. Just understand. And so I had to double down, right? So I said, okay, fine, that's fair. But if Margot Kidder, my childhood crush, ever be, you know, I'll have to ask her out if I ever meet her. And so then we went on with our lives. Yeah. 4 years later, I'm volunteering at Fan Expo in Toronto, which is like San Diego Comic-Con for Canada.
Yeah.
And so I'm volunteering there. And because I am able to, like, I'm not a typical nerdy looking person, and I can kind of communicate well, I got to do cooler things than some. And so one of the guys who was my supervisor says, I need you to go up to this hotel room and get Miss Kidder and her assistant and bring them down to the show. And then you're going to work their table with them. And I was like, Margot Kidder? And she was like, yes. So I go up and I get Margot Kidder and her assistant, and I come down and I'm sitting at their table all day working with them. I'm just like their handler for the day. And I'm like, what? How did I stumble into this? So I call my wife on our cell phone, and I said, you'll never, I had forgot about the Rock thing. And I said, you'll never believe I'm working with Margot Kidder today. Like I'm sitting with her. And my wife, being my wife, she goes, well, are you going to man up and ask her out?
Can you imagine?
So all day I'm like, this is super awkward. Maybe I'll go to jail for asking this. But also I can't go home to my wife and have her like think that she's won here. So at the end of the day, I said, Miss Kidder, I don't know what you're doing for dinner, but I would love to take you out for dinner and a movie tonight.
Yeah.
And what I didn't know was her assistant was actually her niece. And she says, well, Adam, you're a little bit young for me, but this is my niece, and maybe you should take her out. And I said, Miss Kidder, that's a very generous, but my wife has only given me permission to date you.
Only you, that's it.
Goes, well, that makes sense. That makes sense. Let me sign a poster for you.
Brilliant.
I have a To Adam Love Margot Kidder poster up in my hallway. Yeah. That was the day that I got kindly rejected by Lois Lane.
Oh,
wow.
Brilliant. Been watching Test Aid for a decade and seeing the pop Prop store auctions. Never thought I could afford anything from them. Yeah, I love that. Gary says, I'm going to coin Mr. Mr. Monopoly. Roll the dice, land it on square and buy it. Geek Song says, that Star Wars is awesome. Speaking of Star Wars, I just put out a toy shop video and interviewed him. Very nice, Dino. Very nice. Brilliant. Adam, that is awesome. Your fantastic story. Awesome story. Who would you be? I mean, I can't shut the fans up, but I know if I met this one person, I would be too starstruck, and that would be Naomi Campbell. If I ever met Naomi Campbell, I'd turn into a bumbling idiot. I know I would. I have fancied that woman since I was 17, 18, and I know for a fact if I ever met her, I wouldn't know what to say. Is anyone like that for you two? If you ever met that person,
Margot Kidder.
Margot Kidder.
You know, so for me, I think the first convention I went to, the real convention, or ICCC was what it was. I'll give it credit for it was. Anthony Daniels was there, and all I ever heard was, "Oh, he's stuck up. He's blah blah blah. This, that, and the other." So we went there, and it's like, "Oh, you got to get in line to get your autograph and your photo ops and everything." So we were standing in line, and we saw him come in with an entourage and go to a room. And I was like, "Oh my God, that was Anthony Daniels." I mean, I was just geeking out. And then he come back and then talked right in front of us. It's like, this was after COVID. And he goes, "I really thought I was done with conventions, but I just can't find myself leaving people like you and everything, because you make it worth it and everything." And I just was like a little kid just melting right there in front of him.
Yeah. That's a great story.
But you talk about Naomi Campbell. I do got a quick story. My sister actually worked with Naomi Campbell when she was a teenager, because she was going to do modeling as a profession.
Right.
And Naomi Campbell was the mentor for him.
Oh, she can be my mentor whenever she likes. It's not an issue at all. Whenever she wants.
The funniest story, though, with meeting people. So the following year, I'm volunteering again. Because if you volunteer at these shows, you don't need to pay to get in, and you get like backstage access. So it's but they had Adam West, Burt Ward, and there was one of the cat women there.
Julie Newmar,
Julie Newmar, and so they had me working. They said, "You're going to work with Adam West. You're going to be at Adam West's table." So I got very excited. But he had the Batmobile beside him. So it was $100 for an autograph, $100 for a picture, and it was $100 to sit in the Batmobile.
Wow! All that money.
So he has this big lineup, and the first guy says, "Is there a deal if I do all three?" And Adam West goes, "Yes, $300." So
thanks. I know how to count, Mr. West. You know what I mean?
But then he says to me, and he talks like Batman, right? He's like, "Adam, if you see someone taking a picture of me, without paying for it, I need you to go and just take their camera." And I was like, "I'm not stealing people's camera, Batman. Like, I'm not doing that." And he was getting like upset that I wasn't blocking people and jumping in their way. And so the show, like my boss came over and I said, "Listen, I know Adam West is the big celebrity here. Can I go with anybody else? I just want to be anywhere else."
Yeah.
And so, okay, well, Burt Ward's getting here. I'll put you on Burt Ward's table. So Burt Ward, and I had just seen him on Ellen like the week before talking about his giant dog rescue. So he has like 50 Great Danes in his house at all times.
Wow.
And so he came up and I was like, "Hey, Mr. Ward, I'll be working with you." And I said, "I just saw your thing about the dogs. It's really cool." And he's like, "Adam, let me tell you about giant dogs." And he talked to me for half an hour about these giant dogs. And there's people lined up. And I was like, "Oh, you should get going." He's like, "Oh, they're fine." And the thing about a giant dog, Adam, and he kept going on and on. So then my job, when I got seated, was to let the next person in line come up for an autograph. And it was a lot of like 55-year-old ladies that had childhood crushes on Robin were in this line.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Yeah.
So they'd go up there and they're like, "Oh, I loved you in Robin." And I guess he was not rude, but I guess he just was tired of talking about Robin. So he'd be like, yeah, Robin was great. And so it'd be like a minute or two and they'd be gone. And so this lady in the line was like, "Oh, I don't know what to say." And she was very, very nervous. And I said, "Do you want to talk to him for a long time?" And she was like, "Yeah." It's like, "Ask him about his dogs." And she goes up like and the dogs and the food we're making. And he talked to her for about 20 minutes. And then this lady's like, what are they talking about? Oh, every person. I was like, ask him about his dogs.
Yeah.
So by noon, his line is around the corner because he's taking so long with everybody. And Adam West is like, what's with the lineup? Burt Ward's lineup's longer than mine. Like,
Oh, unbelievable. What's the most money you've spent on an autograph, Brad? What's the most money you've spent on one?
Oh, $1,000 for Harrison Ford. I just sent off for this year.
$1,000. Wow.
And I'm scared that that's going to be his last time signing because Calissa Flockhart, his wife, wants him to retire when he's done with all his active projects.
Right.
And didn't want to take a chance at missing an autograph that I know.
You see, that kind of thing, money's, if you've got it, money's not really the issue, is it, for that you want? That's something you
it's
want.
It's not that I got the money. I'm just irresponsible with my money.
Yeah. $1,000. What about you? How much would you spend on one, Adam?
The most I spent on an autograph was for a friend of mine, and it was $30. There was a guy at my church who you would never pick as a wrestling fan, but he heard that I was like into pro wrestling, and he says, "Oh, I used to love watching wrestling." This older fella, and he says, "We had a party for WrestleMania 4, and we all had to bet on someone to win because it was a tournament." And he says, "And I pulled Hacksaw Jim Duggan, so I had to bet money that Hacksaw would win." Yeah. And so I was at One Fan Expo, and Hacksaw was there. And so I said, "Can you autograph a 2x4 for my friend?" He was an elder at my church. And I said, "Just apologize for losing at WrestleMania 4. And so this 2x4 is like, "I'm really sorry that I lost the match and you lost the bet." So I paid $30 for that. I'm not a big autograph guy. I'm
not really. It's like I was talking about David Prowse before. He was only £20 because he'd fallen out with Lucasfilm, hadn't he? So you can't command that sort of money and so forth. Right. So Gary Moore says 2,000, right, Brad?
Yeah, I saw that. So you talk about autographs. So this was something I just got in. I didn't think that I would actually get to fill these out, but Pedro Pascal was doing an autographing, so I got a single plaque and then a Darksaber plaque.
That's nice.
So do you take that sort of stuff with you to conventions and get them to sign it?
Yeah, the plaques I do. And then I'm not going to go through all these, but these are all plaques signed by artists.
Look at all them, Adam. Look at all them.
Look at that.
And then
Gambit over there.
But not done yet. So in this drawer, shoot. That's all autographs right there. Or pictures. But most of them are autographs.
That is unbelievable. Wow.
So that's become one of my big things. Is when I meet somebody, I gotta have that autograph. So
there was an indie photo recently signed by Ford at Echo. I think that was £1,000 or more. So yeah, you must be the going rate now. Gary Moore says Adam bought one for his friend. Obviously, obviously I made the wrong selection. Very cool, Bradley, says Mr. B. Jibo says, I had a local TV news anchor refuse to give me an autograph as a child. I have PTSD from now on. We're giving celebs money for one. Wow, did you?
You got to ask a celebrity, not a local TV anchor.
And Geek Shock said, speaking of my autographs, did I mention my Adam, your number 3 is right here. Oh, man, what Planet of the Apes. Look at that.
My all-time favorite franchise in the world is Planet of the Apes.
Is it?
Yeah.
All time?
All time. And it's probably attached to my mom used to, my bedtime growing up was 8 o'clock. And my mom used to go to a craft night every Thursday, started at 8 o'clock. And so I was getting ready for bed and I went into bed. And then I heard the car leave. And my dad came in my room. He was like, "Hey, mom's gone. Come on up." And he snuck me out of bed and we watched Planet of the Apes together. And my mind was just blown. That original movie, it didn't feel like an old movie. It felt like a lost relic that was like out of time.
Wow, you're the first person I've ever heard talk like this about Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, but like the costumes and the sets and the spaceships, nothing felt like it was of an era.
Yeah.
And then when these figures came out like years later, they also feel out of time, right? Like the costumes, like I know they're Mego, but they feel different than a regular Mego. And so just I got lost in that world of Planet of the Apes. So it was my favorite movie for a long time. When I turned
Right.
17, I got the VHS of the other 4, which I'd never seen, and so I like fell in love with those. And even the more modern ones that have come out, my son and I, watched those together in the theater when they were coming out. So it's another bonding thing there. But yeah, my second Joe Fest, what I wanted to do was get all of the Planet of the Apes Mego figures. So
is
I
this
got
a complete set then of them?
so I'm missing the astronaut from
Right.
right, but there is 2 custom the guys in the loincloths there.
Yeah.
That's actually a John Boy from the Waltons and a Richie Cunningham remade into Taylor and Verk from Planet of the Apes and Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Wow, Planet of the Apes. Wow, that's all. They're cracking looking figures as well, aren't they?
Oh, they are incredible. They just feel, again, out of time. They don't look like anything else that's out there. I love it so much.
Yeah, Mr. B says Planet of the Apes was my favorite before Star Wars. And then Johnny says, if that anchor's about, I'll pay $30 for G-Force's autograph and I'll send it to that news jerk. Attaboy. Oh, that's brilliant. Brilliant. Oh, absolutely brilliant. Wow. Did you get into Planet of the Apes, Brad? Did you like this sort of stuff? I don't think I've ever had any of these.
The toy line, no. I did watch 2 of the movies. Just 2, unfortunately. But no, I never got into them. But I had a fond appreciation for it.
I love the old movies.
Even the remake, because the way Andy Serkis brought the ape movement to life and everything was.
Well, I have a nightmare because I have a. Even talking about it makes me say I have a phobia of animals talking. I can't. I've had to see. Honestly, I've had to see people. I get like a motion sickness, and it makes me. So I have an issue. I did watch him, but I had a real issue about. I love the old ones, and I like the Roddy McDowell on it, and all the class actors that were in it, Charlton Heston, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So the old ones to me are perfection, and I would be okay if the new ones weren't made. But I also have a weird connection with the new ones. So when my son was maybe 4 or 5, we thought he had like a learning disability and couldn't read. Like he just refused to read. He wouldn't it was a situation. And then now this shows about what kind of parent I am as well. He put on the first Rise of the Planet of the Apes because he likes talking monkeys, and it was and I was in the kitchen and I heard dialogue coming from his mouth that I was like, well, how does he know these words? What's he talking about?
Yeah.
And I came to the living room, and my daughter, who's younger than him, he was reading the subtitles of the monkey sign language to her.
Wow.
And I said, Grayson, can you read that? And he says, yeah, I can read. I said, well, how come you haven't read any of the books or anything we've asked you to read? He goes, Dad, this is important stuff, so I'll read it. And so
the rest of it's so good. Oh, brilliant.
It was important stuff to read. So yeah, so then we went and saw the next ones in the theater. So that's become our franchise together. My son and I is the new Planet of the Apes. But yeah, it was an awakening moment there for us.
Oh, now this might be something Brad likes.
Yeah. So completing a Matchbox diecast Voltron is expensive. It's very expensive. I have 4 of them now because I've, just looked for pieces here and there. But for my first one, I bought it really cheap, but it didn't have the firing lion heads. So I had to design and print off these lion heads, and I think that a number of people have mistaken them for real ones. So it's
so are these the ones you bought at Joe Fest, Brad? Are these the ones?
No. This is the diecast, right? These are
diecast ones.
These are very, I mean, you couldn't put a figure in them, and they were more show accurate than the one you could put figures in.
You're very talented, very, very talented. That's brilliant.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it gives you a sense of accomplishment then that you haven't broke the bank, you haven't gone out, you've got it, and it's for your collection. Do you know what I mean? So regardless of if it's custom or not, it's something that's on your shelf and you admire. So I'm all for it.
The other side of it is everything I designed for my channel, I then just put the files up for sale on Cult 3D. So these heads, if you want to buy the files, like $3. So people will buy the file and download it themselves. And so just through the year, things trickle in, and that kind of pays for the collection.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Look at that. Love him. So how many of these was there? Was there 4 or 5 of them?
So there's 5 of them.
5.
Yeah, but now, so again, the original diecast one came from Japan. It was Beast King Go Lion, and the lions had slightly sharper teeth, and they all fired missiles.
Right.
And then there was the American Matchbox version, which had duller teeth and no missiles. And then there was like the bootlegs that came from Korea, which was like the lion bot ones. So again, it's one of those things that when I didn't care which one it was. I wanted one, so I pieced it together. And now I have 4 because I keep piecing them together. So I've got one of each kind.
Absolutely brilliant.
So it's funny, Adam, that right there, they come at San Diego Comic-Con. I forget who it was that had the 40th anniversary of it.
Yeah, the Playmates.
That's what this one is.
Yeah,
it's die-cast, and it's a recreation of those that you just had. Yeah. Maybe a little different in its thing, but it's funny. When you was talking about the heads, the box was so big that it came in that I couldn't ship it or send it in my luggage, so I just put it in there by itself. And both of these heads broke off and sent them home, so I had to glue them back into the joint and everything. So that must have been a common thing. Even back then, it must have been a common thing. But I mean, this thing is heavy. It's got some weight to it, but the way it transforms. I mean, the legs. I mean, I love it. Even the tails, the way they retract into it, and then the peg that actually goes into the black line instead of the tails, like and the other ones, the plastic one I bought.
Yeah. Well, the heads on the vintage one, like the diecast one, they shot off like they were missiles, so they're always missing, right? Because kids just lose those. So, yeah, that was
brilliant. I missed out on it at Voltron. It was. I don't think. Excuse me, boys. I've talked to a few of the English lads about this, and I don't think it was that big where we were from, Voltron. Do you know what I mean? It was. I mean, obviously I'd heard about it and so forth, but it wasn't a huge thing. But Americans and Canadians, you seem to really. Was there a cartoon back then as well for it?
Yep.
That's probably why.
It was awesome.
Yeah, and it was so unlike, because it was a redubbed Japanese show. So it was probably the first like animation that I ever saw.
Yeah.
It was so unlike anything I'd seen before that was just like captivated you.
Yeah. The original Mego Planet of the Apes figures were based on the TV show, says Kieran. Modern Mego has released the Charlton Heston and James Franciscus figures from the movies. There they are. And then Vintage Trevor says they added missiles to everything. They did though, didn't they? Everything had missiles.
Everything had missiles.
Well, brilliant. Yeah. Right. Go on, we're going to say something, Adam.
I was going to say that Marty Abrams, the guy who ran Mego, when they sold their 1 millionth Cornelius figure, he had a solid gold Mego ape's head made up and put on his desk.
How cool is that?
Wow.
Brilliant. Imagine. Right. Well, anyway, let's get to your number 2s.
That's so wrong to have Martin's head on the number.
Oh, is that Martin? I didn't notice. I didn't know. It was just number 2, you see, and it just felt natural. Do you know what I mean?
Poor Martin. I was number 2 this year on Stu's trivia, so
yeah, you got it once.
To be on there now.
Martin's got it. He's like the Jimmy White of Jimmy White. Jimmy White is the guy who's in 6 world finals and never won one in snooker. So
we tied for 2nd place this year, and I was like, well, I'm in good company. So.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do then. Next year, I'll change it to your face. You can be number 2 next year. Right, number 2 is this. Wow. Now, I love this thing. Now, I've got one of these, but mine's a modern one. When I saw your picture, I thought, but this is not. This is a vintage one, isn't it? Yeah.
So I bought a modern one at Joe Fest this year, and then it's just it's fine. Like, I'll grab it here. It's fine. It does the job. Like, it's a Kermit, and it works. Like, it's it's a puppet, and it does its thing, but it doesn't have the charm that a vintage Muppet has.
No, When I saw the pictures, I thought this is awesome. It's very furrier in it. This one, it looks just like Kermit.
It looks and feels like a Kermit.
Yeah.
And so this is from 1981, the same year that I was born. And so I had one of these since I remember. I don't remember getting it. I just remember always having it and just like loving it to death. And then I found this. So these go. Zazel found one in Japan that he was looking at getting, and it was about $100.
Wow!
And the collar was torn, so he's like, "Can we fix it?" But that's kind of what they go for. I found this one on Marketplace for $8. And so again,
did you rub it in straight away? Zazel, Lord, I have a guess how much it was.
No, but again, it was like he was looking for me. Like Zazel and I, because we're in different ends of the globe, we just always look for each other for toys. Yeah. And so I'm a big Kermit guy. And so when I found this, and I did a little repair on his hands and a little repair on his feet. But man, this thing, I say our culture, our society never had as much whimsy and fun as we did as when Kermit the Frog was on TV at 8 o'clock at nights.
He was just, I loved the Muppet Show. Loved it.
Muppets, you can't beat them. And this to me is just like a perfect Kermit. Now
it's funny as well because I was always after the old one, but the find it for $8, and I don't think I ever will. But I got the modern one. But I do have the Bert hand puppet from the 70s, and I love that as well. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So Muppet Show, Sesame Street, and all that sort of stuff. I was a massive fan. And then the one you designed, this is super cool.
Yeah. So I did a video where I was restoring the Lone Ranger figures.
Oh. I was looking for them at Joe Fest, Lone Ranger figures.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did you find them?
No, I found a couple of them, but they were all loose, and I wanted them nice. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. They're not expensive when you find them; they're just hard to find. But so I did that. I made new guns for them and new weapons for them and rifles and whatnot. And they had a cardboard kind of pop-up place that you could send away for.
Yeah, so they all did back then, though. Really, look at all the Star Wars ones that were all cardboard at the back and so forth.
And so I'll see if I can recreate that. And then I said to myself, I was like, if I do that, it's just going to get damaged like a regular. I can do better.
Yeah.
So I started, and this, if you watch the Lone Ranger video, this really gets away from me. It really just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
You know what I mean? You'd end up with a village, wouldn't you? You just I do the whole time. I just look at that, Brad. How cool is that? When you sent me that, I thought, no way is he 3D printed that. And it just looks brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Did you ever get into the Lone Ranger, Brad? The toys as a kid?
Not the toys, but I mean, we would play the Lone Ranger, Tonto all the time. So.
Oh, it's just so cool, that mate. It really is. That's just unbelievable. Yeah. Shabby must hate AI now. I can't talk about that. Yeah, Georgie would be jealous. Yeah, because you've seen Georgie. Georgie made her own puppets and so forth, and some of her work and what she's done. Me and Si had her on the show, and what she was showing. So, and she's a big Henson fan, so she'll love that Kermit. She really will. Adam, how many more talking animals are you going to show? I'm still traumatized by the curled up fingers this Kermit had when you got it. What's that, though?
So like that. His hands are 3 pieces of felt put together.
Yeah,
but they had all separated, so his fingers like curled up behind him, and they just looked like these girls were hanging from his hands, like he held onto a firecracker too long.
Oh, brilliant! Love the joke with Kermit where he talks about bacon sandwiches. Nice, Jason. Nice. The Muppet Show is coming back. Yeah, no, Disney bought it, didn't they? Disney did it, and they did a couple of things a couple of years back. But yeah, I love that playset. I agree, Nate. That playset is just ridiculous. Do you so stuff like that? You will put up, and people can buy the prints.
Yeah, so all that stuff is up for sale. Just to buy the files and download it. Yeah, and like play sets, it became a thing I was doing this year. Again,
just watching Ghostbusters one. That's done really well. Nearly 8,000 views on that. That's really good. Yeah,
it's funny, right? Like I'll put hours and hours of time into, like, say, the Chuck Norris one, which is a bigger play set and more things going on, and it'll get 110 views. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Then you do the Ghostbuster one, and it like just takes off, and you're like, oh well, that really went places, right?
Yeah,
but.
It's really good. It's a really good video. Really is. Right, Brad. What's your number 2?
All right, we're going mobile again. Let's see. I'm going to see if I can.
I've
flip
enjoyed
the
this
camera.
tonight, boys. This has been a great
This
top
is
5.
so
I've
fun.
really enjoyed it. Thank you both so much. It's been
Thanks
ace.
for having us. This is incredible.
All right, so let's see if I can do this a little better. So this piece, I didn't think I would ever own something like this. So it's a framed lithograph of Obi-Wan Kenobi, but what makes it so special is this is a handwritten letter by Sir Alec Guinness.
No way.
Yeah,
Real.
and I never thought I would own his autograph.
What's the date at the top? It says 20th of February.
Yeah, 1959.
Super
sorry.
cool.
Once
Wow.
again, is wherever he was at.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just a long written letter and signed by him at the end.
That's the thing. It's not just as Obi-Wan. I mean, Alec Guinness, Bridge Over River Kwai. Do you know what I mean? The guy was a stellar actor, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. I mean, I never thought I would own anything like that. So a little piece of history before he was even, I mean, he was already an actor, a well-established actor, but he hadn't made it to where, you know, he was for Star Wars for us. So, but I just thought that was an amazing piece. I really did.
Pop Racing, good old Pops is asking, is that a Dave Dorman art?
Yes. It's number 301 of 1500.
Wow.
Wow, that's so cool.
So did it come
And
together with
sci-fi.
with the letter, Brad, or did you put it together?
So I bought it like this.
Wow.
And
That's impressive, man.
And still didn't pay as much as I did for Harrison Ford's autograph for a whole letter by Sir Alec
Cheers, Harrison Ford.
But yeah, I just I saw that and had a fit. I was like, I
bet
got
you did.
to have that.
Oh, that's just so cool. Adam's videos are in a class of its own. I love all Adam does, says Geek Strong.
I appreciate you, brother.
He's only saying that to make sure you watch his next video. Do you know
That's
what I
right.
mean?
There's an
So you just jump on it. Yeah. Wow, Alec Guinness autograph. That's incredible. Speaking of there you go. Alec Guinness was in other stuff than Star Wars. Yeah, he was. I loved Alec Guinness films. He was just a class act, wasn't he? But getting that letter from 1959, how cool! How do you come across and find stuff like that? I wonder.
So that one actually, the guys that run Rebel Scum Con that we need to get you to come to next year. One of them's father deals with collectibles like that.
Right.
And I picked that up from him, and I actually got a Peter Cushing cancel check with his autograph on it.
That's cool.
So yeah, it was two pieces to finish off some of the OT people, because Harrison Ford will finish off my bigger crew, but I need a James Earl Jones, a Frank Oz, and I would like to have a John Williams. Those three autographs, and I'd have to trifecta.
The James Earl John obviously sadly passed, so I'm not like I said, not like you when it comes to autographs. Does that mean the prices go up once somebody passes? Because I do have David Prowse's signed thing here. I do have a figure that's signed.
Oh
by
yeah,
him.
absolutely.
But, so they do go up
for certain. They do. Yeah.
Wow.
But I mean, it's like I have Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
And this is from Celebration. I was going to try to find that Peter Cushing one, but
Peter Cushing, how cool would that be?
I mean, I have one that some people would say, why is that one not one of your bigger pieces? But it's an autograph to me is me being there in person and getting the biggest part of seeing it signed and everything.
Yeah.
So that's why some of this, I mean, these autographs, I was there in person, but of course, when they're dead and gone before I was able to afford anything like that. So yeah, I'll find what I'm looking for. I'll let you go on. You
Oh, no problem at all. Right. Well, anyway, boys, we're down to number ones. So before we get to number ones, I want to thank everyone for coming in tonight. Thank you all so much for supporting me, Brad and Adam. It's awesome of you. And thank you to you both. Honestly, your stuff you've shown, you've blown me away. You really have. You some of the stuff you've shown. It's why I love doing this show, because you never know what's going to be shown. Do you know what I mean? And what's personal to you, and what's in your top five. Do you think as well, if you ever came on and did something like another top five next season, for example, season 3 of top five is another top five. And the reason I've done that is because a lot of people have found it very hard to come up with 5. And if you two came on, do you think your top 5 would be different than what it is today?
Well, probably. Or I would go the route of G-Force when he was on.
Yeah.
And I think he just broke his collection into 5 parts. We're like, number 1 is my vintage collection.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people. Our side did theme biker scout. They showed loads of biker scouts and all that. So yeah, there is a different way of doing it as well, isn't there? So you've done it tonight, designs as well as what is it?
Oh, yeah,
I love stuff like that.
Once I knew I could cheat, I'm in.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like when people say, "What's your favorite original trilogy Star Wars movie?" But which one are you turning off? Do you know what I mean? I've always been like that. Like, well, if Star Wars is on, I ain't turning that off because Empire's my favorite, that kind of thing. So I suppose it gets like that, doesn't it? Let's just get to the chat a second. Gary Moore says, "My whole collection centers around Anthony Daniels."
That's a bold move.
Brad, 1,000 Goals has tons of autographs and he's been downsizing. He may have some you need. That's a good point. Yeah, he has been.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for spending my money again, G-Force.
Yeah, you might as well just give him your wallet. Do you know what I mean? I like to think of it as cleverly navigating the rules. That's a good way of looking at it too. Anyway, number ones. So, Brad, what's your number one?
Before we go to number one, this was what I was looking for, and I don't know why it didn't make it into my top 5, but it didn't. Is George Lucas's autograph.
Wow,
incredible.
So I do. So I didn't want to say everybody else and not have him. But
that is the one to have in it when it comes to Star Wars. That is
the maker.
Yeah.
So I know this piece of paper probably means nothing to everybody, but this list of paper right here is a list of every autograph that I have on what I'm fixing to show you, which is a total of 112 autographs.
Unbelievable.
It ranges from Jude Law, Giancarlo Esposito, Emily Swallow, Hayden Christensen, which Gary Moore, thank you. You did that for me. I didn't get to meet Hayden. Gary took care of that for me. I actually met Sigourney Weaver to have her sign this, since she is now part of the Star Wars family.
Yep.
So let me turn this around. And well, that is not what I'm trying to do. Hang on, folks. Back camera. Here we go. So the last year, and if I can figure out how to get this centered right, this poster Gary Moore bought from me at San Diego Comic-Con last year. It was an exclusive. And it was funny. I asked him, "Can you find me this poster?" And he goes, "In the middle of all of this, where are they at?" And luckily he found them. It was like finding a needle in a haystack. And I understand it now after getting to go to Comic-Con this year myself. But since October last year, I have been working on getting autographs on this to make this my definitive piece right here. And like I said, I'm up to 112 autographs, but like Ashley Eckstein, Katie Sackhoff, Jim Cummings. Let's see. There's Emily Swallow, Giancarlo Esposito, Jude Law in the silver right there. Bryce Dallas Howard.
So crazy.
Sigourney Weaver down here. I've got
Andy Serkis right there.
Yeah, Ron Howard down here. Billy D. Williams. Oh my gosh, yeah. There's so many people on here. I tried to cover every gambit of Star Wars in this piece right here.
That's crazy. Look at that.
Bananas.
It has been a lot of places. I am doing a crap job trying to get this thing centered up, folks.
Like,
But
right there. Perfect.
I've taken a picture with every one of these people except Hayden. And It's just, yeah, this is what Star Wars is to me, is the people that made it for us and getting to meet them and hear their stories and everything.
So
This,
let me just reiterate: you've met every one of these people except for Hayden. That is incredible. Wow,
yes,
wow, what a memory piece as well, Brad.
yeah. In essence, I've retired it right now, but if for some reason I have an opportunity to get Mark Hamill or
Yeah.
Harrison or
I met
Anthony
Mark Hamill, yeah,
Daniels.
but not got his. I was doing he likes Egyptian cotton shirts. I'll just tell you that.
Well, maybe I
Gary
need
Moore
to
says
figure out something.
there was no pressure taking that to Japan.
No, he took it to Japan for me, and it already had like 40 or 50 autographs on it at the time. So he's like,
Bob says, I
"Sure,
don't
let
see
me
my
take it."
autograph on it. I don't see that yet.
Well, it's
Oh, no.
funny when we were at Rebel
Uh,
Scum Con
uh,
this year. Uh, Rory, I can't think of his last name. He was one of the he's a stunt man, and he did a lot of the Death Troopers and stuff in
right.
Ahsoka. And he had heard about me walking around the convention, getting this signed, and I finally found him. And it's funny what he wrote down here. I think he says, "I made it finally." So
He's on it. Now, do people do that though? When you meet these celebrities and they see that poster, I bet they're like, "Whoa, look at all these." Do you know what I mean? I bet they're happy to sign it.
yeah, like Sam Whitworth took a picture of it. I don't know if he posted it or anything, but I've had a lot of them sign it and then take a picture of it because they couldn't believe it. And
Geekstrom asks, Brad, do you have Kathleen Kennedy's autograph?
ah, you know what? No, I don't. But after the story that just come out a few weeks ago, we've really painted her as the evil person.
Yeah, but I mean, what a career she's had. That's the way I look at it with her. And look
Yeah,
at the career. I mean, her name was on practically every 80s pop culture thing we loved as
Yeah.
kids. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
But
Yeah.
they spun the story around and said, "Listen, she's really fought for Star Wars
Yeah.
since it went to Disney, and it's actually been people like Bob Iger that's really fought back and pushed
Yeah.
against it." So
Our
we may
Sai
have
always said
painted.
that. Our Sai's always said it about her. He said, it's easy to blame her, but there's obviously people higher up than her that, do you know what I mean? So I
Absolutely.
agree with that in a certain way. Gary Moore said there's a secret Gary Moore signature in there somewhere. Can you
Well,
imagine?
so I need to write 113 autographs and add you to it, Mr. Moore. What was your role in Star Wars?
People asks, how long did you practice Hayden's autograph for, Gary?
You know what?
Oh,
I've seen Gary Moore's chicken scratch. I don't think he could do that. So,
that's absolutely beautiful, mate. What a great poster that is! Wow. And do you hang that up then? Is it like a centerpiece in your room?
so this is just in a temporary frame I had. I'd like to get it matted and done a little bit more professionally, but at the same time, I'm afraid maybe next year might bring opportunities to get some of the bigger people to finish signing it.
Yeah.
So for right now, I'm going to leave it in here, hang it up, and if like Ewan McGregor or Harrison or Mark, or I'll even go for Adam Driver, Daisy Ridley, or
Why not? The
John
part of the sequel
Boyega.
thing,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So
If
yeah.
they are at a show, I'll let them sign it just to add more value to it, and then I'll properly mat it and retire it. So
Awesome. Absolutely brilliant, mate. What a great number one. Brilliant
So,
number one.
so Brad,
yes.
you should just come visit. If you haven't met Hayden Christensen, because his farm is just 15 minutes down the road from me.
Well, I need to because the man goes everywhere I'm not. So
Yeah. No, because he moved to Uxbridge, Canada.
Wow.
And he has a farm.
Wow.
So he goes to the same pizza place that I go into in Mount Albert.
That's unbelievable.
So,
George Aiken wrote, I was the lead scriptwriter on The Last Jedi. Brilliant. Gary Moore says, I was an Ewok stunt double. I can cut Matt's Brad. Let me know the dimensions. There you go.
All right.
Everyone's jumping in, help you out. Brilliant.
I'll take any help I can get. That thing has cost me a small fortune in itself. So
what would you do if you have you met him then, Adam, when he's around in the pizza?
I missed him by 5 minutes one time. Went in to get my pizza, and a buddy I know with work, he said, "You just missed Darth Vader. He was in here."
Oh,
showed me a selfie with him.
Yeah.
He goes back. But he wanted to move to like Southern Ontario and have a farm here and just live a quiet life. He's doing that.
Brilliant. Let's have a look at your number one, buddy.
So mine is the opposite of a big autograph picture.
I mean, I'm a massive fan of this. So
yeah, so it had to be Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
And we can talk about Scareglow and we can talk about Roton and all the rare ones, but it comes down to He-Man and Skeletor. If you have to have two, that's the two you have. And now these are the rarest ones. So it's the short boot, short strap, half boot, pink cheek, like all the rarest versions of those first came out. And they're all complete. There's nothing printed. It's all original. But yeah, they're just the toys that bring me back to my childhood the most. If all of this had to go and I just had to start again, those would be the first toys that I'd buy. And so
it would be difficult between the Star Wars and because like I said, if I just make myself my big right here, there's all mine, all from there, all the way Masters of the Universe. Do you know what I mean? And so I know exactly what you mean there. There's just something about this toy line that I absolutely adore. Do you know what I mean? It's a big part of my childhood, Masters of the Universe. So, and I just
took me a second to find Orko. I was like, wait a minute, where's Orko at? But I see him now on top of Castle Grayskull. So
what I'll do is, I just go in? Yeah, I mean, if I just go forward, I mean, look at this. This is just brilliant.
Wow.
I mean, I can't believe you've got some of the twisters down here as well. Incredible.
So that was a good friend of mine got me those for my birthday 2 years in a row, those two guys. And that was the last one I needed to finish the collection. And I have a bunch of custom stuff in there as well.
Yeah, wait, is this a custom Grayskull right here, the black and gold one?
That's the custom movie version.
Oh, wow.
I've noticed you slipped a black star in there as well.
So I slipped the black star in there and a little sneak peek to Adam's next video. Little sneak peek. We got a little Remco Warlord here that we're going to be sneaking into the collection as well.
Oh, brilliant.
So those are, I designed the wings there and the sword, and I got some other stuff I'm going to be putting onto him. But yeah, he's gonna sneak his way into the Masters of the Universe collection.
Would you say it was your favorite as a kid?
Yeah, it needed to be He-Man. Like that was just I remember having and it felt massive in your small child hands. Holding them now, they feel small, but then they felt like something substantial, right? Like
I just always remember the commercial and the English one, and it showed Castle Grayskull, the dad towering over Castle Grayskull, and the way they filmed Grayskull, it just looked huge as kids, and it was dead dark in the front room, and just you know what I mean? He's dead, He-Man, and I thought this is awesome. Do you know, there's two adverts that always stuck to me as toys as kid. That one, and there was a Palatoy one for the Return of the Jedi with the biker scouts on the speeders, and it was going through table legs. It's on YouTube if you've never seen it. And it's one of the best ones ever because it's showing how kids would play through your mum and dad's dining room tables, all the legs with the woods and so forth. And I loved it. This collection is superb.
The thing I love too about Masters of the Universe is, yes, there was a show. So you watched the show. And yes, there was the mini comics. You look at that. But you'd get a Battle Cat. I remember getting the Battle Cat and He-Man together but that's like my Battle Armor He-Man. And just the box art told the story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing. Origins did the best is that we created that box art. And I'm like, I remember we weren't allowed to open toys in the car after the store. I'd wait till we get home so we didn't lose any pieces. But I remember just like staring at the Battle Cat box, being like, this is the greatest story.
Artwork, wasn't it? Yeah, the artwork is just superb.
So
did you get tempted to get the new ones then? Do we never because I know you're a vintage collector. Were you never tempted?
No. So I got a He-Man and Skeletor for my son for Christmas. And a couple year and a half ago here in Canada, they started showing up at the Dollarama for $3 each.
Wow.
So I bought a bunch of them there, but to give them to my nephew because I think
Yeah.
they're great toys. But to me, they just weren't. They were different than what I remembered. Right?
Yeah.
They weren't the same. And so I was like, anything that's a little bit different, like I wasn't tempted to get it because I have a perfect He-Man and Skeletor. I don't need to collect for the sake of collecting, and I could take that money.
I loved it because of my daughter, my Lucy, my youngest daughter, got bang into it, and they came at a perfect time because she was about 10, and I thought this is brilliant. And we made the videos with her, and obviously when she got older now, she doesn't want to do them anymore. But that's one of my fondest memories of the new stuff is the fact that I went through that with our Lucy. Do you know what I mean? And so you saying that you bought him for your little lad, that's brilliant. Do you know what I mean? That's because really that's what it's all about, isn't it? You know, kids play with the toys and so forth.
Because I know you love it. Yeah. The one thing that's missing from my collection is a Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
But my daughter has one.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Right.
Brilliant.
So you got to just let the kids play.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And that was the nicest thing about that, because like I said, with them being the prices they were, we had no issue with it. I opened them all up and just, you know, let them have them and so forth. So yeah, that's absolutely brilliant collection. Next one is this. This is super cool.
Yeah, so I did a Clash of the Titans video where I made new stuff for Perseus, made him a new shield, a new sword, his helmet. I made a Clash of the Titans playset, which was great. And then again, just like the alien facehugger, I was like, if I could pull off a Bubo, the little mechanical owl accessory, that would be a magic trick. And so I just started playing with it, and then it ended up turning out incredible. So I think it's my favorite thing I've ever designed. It really pops off. I've had a number of guys message me like, "Can I please buy one off you?" So I've shipped a bunch of these out.
Yeah, I bet Scuba Pete watches this. He'll be onto you. I want one of those definitely. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. He loved all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
it's weird. So that was never released in the Clash. The little
owl never released.
No,
it was just,
and it was such a big character. Do you know what I mean?
A big character, and that whole line was just 4 figures, a Pegasus, and a Kraken. And you know, so what happens when I get into a project is like you re-fall in love with these toys, right?
Because you do. Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
and you're like, well, what do we? And when I'm modeling, and my videos had sped up, you know, like 20 times or 30 times, whatever it is. But while I'm modeling, I just have something on in the background. So I must have watched Clash of the Titans 3-4 times.
Yeah.
While I was putting this video together. But my son's a big drama guy. He's in a special drama program at his school. He's doing very well. He loves film. He's going to be an actor at some point in time. But again, he loves learning about the history of film. So I watched this with him, and it's interesting because he's about to turn 18, and so I was like, how well does this hold up? Like this thing that I loved as a kid, how well does it hold up? And so when it was over, I didn't say anything during the movie. When it was over, he says that's better than the ones that they remade. Like that's better. And you know, there'd be a composite shot of like the wave crushing Joppa. And so they have a miniature temple being knocked down. They've got a composite shot of people running ahead. They've got a composite shot of the wave, and they've got a background there. So it's 5 elements being glued together, but they all existed in real space. Like there's a weight to things that are falling down.
Yeah.
That you can't duplicate with CGI. Like it doesn't
work.
Right?
We've had that conversation all the time. I'm not. It doesn't. You know, when people try and sell you a movie, how expensive a movie is, I don't care about stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Some of our favorite movies were set to all cardboard and plastic. Let's be honest. So you know, and the slow motion back then, Jason and the Argonauts, Clash of the Titans. You know, even Jaws. If you look at that now, it doesn't take you out of it because the story's so compelling. Do you know what I mean? So,
and it's all stuff that was real in a camera. Like it was a picture of a real thing. And so to have him say like that, this is incredible. They don't make movies like this anymore. I was like, okay, there's hope for the world.
That's what you want, isn't it? That's what when you look at my oldest son, we took his girlfriend to Return of the Jedi 2 years ago. She loved it. She was 18, and I was waiting for that and see what she thinks, and she absolutely loved it. Do you know what I mean? I thought brilliant.
Well,
you know,
me and my 2 buddies just went and saw the anniversary reshowing of the 1990 Ninja Turtles movie.
Oh, yeah, but that was cool too.
But you watch it and you're like, they should just do this. Forget CG, just make suits like this again, this was a much better looking movie,
Mhm.
and it ages way
Yes.
better than a CGI turtle.
I
right?
agree. 100% agree. 100%. I think most of us do, to be honest. I mean, I've never, I don't know about you, Brad, but I've never been sold on that. You know, it's a $500 million. I don't care. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, sometimes it's looking at the old school. And I suppose it is a nostalgia pull as well when you look at stuff like this. You know what I mean? Like Clash of the Titans and that, you
and
know.
I'm actually a little bit worried about the new Masters of the Universe movie coming out, because it's like I'm excited about it, but there's like it's high stakes for me as a Motu fan.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I honestly think if they would have given them a budget of, say, you got $20 million to do it, it would have forced them to make a better movie. Because you
I
look at
think so. Yeah.
look at the Beastmaster, which was essentially He-Man when you were a kid. That was the closest you got to it. They just filmed it in like real sets. They didn't have any sounds. They just went out to like the countryside and filmed it. They had a real tiger on set that was trained and did stuff. So with very minimal CGI, if they just shot it real like Conan the Barbarian, it would be a timeless movie and we'd be in. And I'm scared they're going to make it this fantastical.
I don't know, because it's like I say, we're all talking through our age eyes, and I suppose youngsters are now, if they want to get them involved, they're going to have to do all the CGI and stuff. What do you think, Brad?
So I'm with Adam. I'm worried about it because they've been very tight with the pictures.
Yeah.
There's been very few pictures that come out, and everything that I've seen that I thought was Skeletor was AI. So I haven't seen what that looks, because Frank Langella's Skeletor makeup was
Brilliant.
phenomenal.
Yeah, it
For
was.
an
Yeah.
80s movie, it was phenomenal.
He took it
It
dead
was-
seriously. I remember the thing saying that his kids loved Masters, so he wanted to make sure he gave a performance they can watch it forever, and it was brilliant, wasn't it? So
I just don't want to stay out of our universe.
yeah.
Stay in Eternia. We want to see Eternia. I live on this god awful crustacean that we're going through right now. So let's see another place to escape to.
Yeah.
And let's let that be Eternia. I want to see Orko. I want to see Man at Arms again, and
Battle Cat. I mean, I think I'll be all right with it because he's a green cat,
Krieger.
so he doesn't look real. So I'll be all right. Because one of the lads asked me, "How are you going to be about a talking cat, Shabs?" But he does. It depends. But because he's green and he's got yellow stripes, I think I'll be all right. I don't think I'll have an issue with that. But one of the lads who went to CinemaCon I watched on YouTube turned around and said, "If you love the '80s cartoon, you're going to love this." Said the aesthetic of it looks just like the '80s cartoon. So fingers crossed. Let's have a look. I really enjoyed your custom Titans video, says VTR. Adam, there you go, right there. Lucy, a real toy expert. I know she's yeah, I appreciate that, fellas. I really do. Yep, I have to buy some prints from Adam. So there you are. So there you have it. There's the lads. Top 5. Anything coming up you want to talk about before we get off? And thank you both. We've done 2.5 hours. It's flown by. It's flown.
This has been the best time.
I've loved your stories, the way you look at you two, though, you're two of the nicest lads that I've met over the past 5 years. So I knew this was going to be a good one. But anything you want to talk about before we go?
Brad, what you got coming up?
Oh, mine is so funny. You brought up Adam West and Burt War. What's his name? I'm actually this weekend going to pick up our 3rd Great Dane. That's blind.
Yeah.
It's he's a year old and blind. And he was about to go to the pound, and my heart
yeah, that's what I do with
wouldn't allow it.
Yeah.
And talking about buying toys and wondering how much you spent for it and everything. When I was talking to the other half, and I was like, don't send me pictures like this and expect me not to react. So I went to bed that night, and I was like, I dreamed about this dog all night, and I was like, did I really say yes to a 4th dog? Because we have a Rhodesian Ridgeback too. And I was like, surely I didn't. I went through my text and everything. I was like, oh,
big dogs. Because an Australian Ridgeback's not small either. You got big dogs in your
yeah, they're my kids. That's my kids. So I get to drive back up into Alabama this Saturday to go get him and bring him home. And then the rest of the year is work, end of the year meeting, and then trying to figure out how to go see family during Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Thanksgiving. I do like it. We're gonna have a good. It's not something that we celebrated in England, but I've got used to it now, being here for so many years and so forth.
Just
and
a reason to
before,
get
so.
fat and
Well,
fat before Christmas.
yeah, I know that real. I know. What about yourself, my friend? You got anything coming up?
Yeah, I got two videos in the tank right now. I got one where I'm going to be doing a Migo chips restoration.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. And then I got my Remco Warlords figure restoration coming up. So I got a couple little videos coming up, and then we'll get into that, and then we get into Christmas season, and I'll get the Christmas Christmas special coming up. And I think we got a couple episodes of Can Or You Believe It coming out soon, where we I go through year by year the Kenner lines after 1990.
Oh, awesome, man! Yeah, well, that's one of my favorite time. Yeah, I do a live stream called Christmas Decorations, and everyone from around the world sends me videos and pictures of the decorations. So I hope you two get involved in that this year. I just love it. So,
did you see my Christmas decorations I did last year?
Yeah.
Where I took all the 80s toys and gave them Christmas outfits.
Brilliant. Loved it.
My God.
Right. So, yeah. So what I want you to do is basically for everybody, it was so much fun because, and like I said, the nicest thing about it is we all know everyone from all over the world.
Right.
And so it's great. You've seen all these different types of decorations and how people set their houses up. And do you know what I mean? Like Matt in Florida looks nothing like the ones in England and the way they're all done. So I love doing that. And obviously this is the final of this now. And then Tub Thumpers comes back at the start of December as well. Nice. So me and Shabby jumping on that. And then obviously we got ZSR on Friday. But no, honestly, boys, I think everyone's enjoyed it. It looked awesome. Top 5. And Chivo said, "Oh, we'd like a Ridgeback lion hunters." Yeah, Thanksgiving is just around the corner. But anyway, we're done. Thank you both so much. I appreciate that. Please like and please subscribe. We have a Patreon if you'd like to join that. Helps the channel grow so I can make live streams like this. But apart from all that, YouTube has been absolutely brilliant. Say goodnight, fellas. See ya.
It's been a blast. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, everybody.